What's up, everyone? Hello, and welcome to another episode of Party Chat. This is episode 38, and we got a really awesome panel here tonight. So let's go ahead and bring in my usual co-host, Ryan. What's up, Ryan? How you doing tonight?
Well, the awesome panel's definitely not me, but it's good to be here again. Missed last week, obviously, because you were sorry, not last week, 2 weeks ago, because you're in Vegas. Special little stream there, and I did catch the tail end because I was streaming a lovely game. But anyway, we're going to talk about video games. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Well, good to be back. And yeah, Carl won't be able to be here tonight, but he should be back on the next episode. But as mentioned, I was in Vegas 2 weeks ago in the Salty Nerd studio, and I got to meet this guy, Alex from the Salty Nerd podcast. What is up?
What's up, everybody? How you guys doing tonight?
Doing awesome. Alex was the first guest ever on Party Chat on episode 1. It was very short, so he came back again on episode 6 because episode 1 I did not have enough time, so he came back for a full episode. But got to meet him in Vegas a couple weeks ago. And cool. He's like, we need to collaborate some more. And I was like, hey, you want to be on on the next episode of Party Chat? He's like, absolutely, because we had your co-host in crime, Dutch Butters, since I was live in your studio. So following it up with Alex. So good to talk with you again, man. How are you doing?
Good, man. Good. The gaming industry is in a weird place, and I've just recently gotten my feet back in the water with this because of Dutch. So I'm looking forward to talk. I don't really get to talk about different games other than Helldivers lately. So I'm looking forward to going back in time a little bit and talking about some of my favorite ones growing up.
Yeah. So for anyone who isn't aware, the Salty Nerd podcast, guys, they got they're big on the Helldivers. They do a weekly video called Salt Divers, which released a couple hours ago. They do it on Tuesday. So they're big in the Helldivers scene. They got a very active Helldivers community. I wanted to introduce you to someone that I met at the meetup who was big into Helldivers, but unfortunately you guys had already left. But he did get connected with the Discord group. So I hope he's having fun playing with you guys. That's something I need to get back into at some point. But good to have you back on after a long hiatus away from Party Chat. So seeing some names that I see in Discord, but I don't know how many times they've been here in my chat. But good to see you guys. Spartan Flash, Mind Your Feet, Clan Doran Gaming, Fob Hopper. Good to see you guys and welcome. We are here to talk about video games. So
those are some familiar names, man. Familiar names I'm seeing. I love it.
Yeah, I was talking with Alex at the meetup that it's like I think I'm still only level 18 or 19. I'm an achievement hunter and a completionist, so I do plan to get all the achievements. I just need to get back to it, and hopefully maybe some of you guys can help carry me at that point.
I have 29 out of 30 achievements on Steam for Helldivers 2.
Do you know which one you're missing?
Yeah, I'm missing the one where you break both arms and both legs at the same time without dying.
Oh, okay.
So I don't know. I got to go in there and mess around a little bit more to get that last one, but I've got all the other ones.
I think I've got about half of them so far. I haven't actually tried going for any of them really. It's just the ones that I do have came from natural play.
There's one that you have to try to do it where it's like you throw 6 orbital bombardments at the same time, which basically 4 Helldivers each have to throw at least 2. And then you get the nuke it from orbit achievement, I think, which is a ton of fun.
That sounds great. So, and also Emilashan, first time here. What's up? Welcome. And if you guys like video games, I think you'll like my channel. I'm 3 subs away from 300, so I'm almost there at the 300 mark. But yeah, everything I do here is all video game related. So if you're into video games, I think you'll like it here. So before we get into our topics for tonight, I like to go around the horn here and give everyone a chance to talk about anything that they've been playing lately. So Alex, have you been playing Helldivers? Anything other than Helldivers you've been playing lately?
Yeah. So I recently got the Oblivion remake.
Ooh.
I was one of those suckers who bought that day one as soon as it came out.
I love Oblivion.
I bought the deluxe version for some reason, even though I'm probably never going to use the soundtrack or anything like that.
I love your dedication, by the way.
Thanks. I've never played Oblivion before. I never played the original.
First time.
So this is my first time playing it, which I was like, if there's going to be a first time playing it, it might as well be in the newest, shiniest version. So, and then I piddle around. I'm replaying Skyrim right now with a mage only build.
A mage only, okay.
Yeah, I've never done mage only. It sucks balls, like real bad. I hate it. And then what am I? And then I jump into Ghost Recon Breakpoint sometimes with the boys every once in a while. and stuff like that. That's basically been my big like top 4 games recently.
Okay. Yeah, I've got a special place in my heart for Oblivion because it's the game that got me into the RPG genre. And I was a big fan of Ghost Recon Wildlands, but then when they announced Breakpoint and it was basically Destiny, or not Destiny, more like The Division as a looter shooter, I was like, no thanks.
Yeah.
That's not what Ghost Recon's supposed to
Well,
be. I've heard they changed that.
yeah, they have. Yeah, so there's a new way that you can play now where it's like immersive mode or wherever, where it takes all of that out of it, and
The gear scores.
Yeah, it really brings it down to like a stripped down version of like. I treat it personally because it's very customizable to however you want to play. I kind of treat it more like a sequel to Splinter Cell.
Okay. So I have picked up Breakpoint, but I haven't played it yet. So, and unfortunately, it doesn't have crossplay. So I was hoping maybe I can play with you.
I know.
It doesn't have crossplay. And I just saw Emilishan subscribe. So thank you. I appreciate it. Get me just a little bit closer there to that mark. $2.99. I'm one away from 300. So, cool. What about you, Ryan? You been playing anything lately?
I literally just got done playing something.
I saw that.
Playing Ace Combat 7, basically the Top Gun Maverick package. So I fly the F-14A Tomcat from Top Gun Maverick, the whole entire game. It is a lot of fun, and it's something that I call literally Top Gun Tuesday. So
that's great.
If you want to watch it, you can watch it on my gaming channel, Legion Games 2076, and I literally finished the second to last mission. I'm sorry. The last mission that I finished was literally 15 minutes before this, and the president's the helicopter gets shit. It was stupid. I don't know. Anyway, it's a lot of fun. The combat is great. The story is stupid. I don't understand it. So.
I mean, does anybody play Ace Combat for the story?
No, I play it for the combat and I watched my own replay because you literally see the plane go and like all over the place, and I'm like going, that's great.
Dude, my Instagram has been getting filtered in some of this Ace Combat stuff, but these guys have like a VR setup where they're like inside the cockpit and they have their VR goggles on and they're flying the airplane from inside, like looking around doing dogfights and stuff. It looks
that's awesome.
If I got $1,000 laying around, I'm doing VR or something. I'm gonna fly a plane in VR. That sounds freaking awesome.
That is amazing. I've heard from previous co-hosts of Party Chat, Mark the Cyborg says that Star Wars Squadrons, you could play that in VR, and it's basically just like that, and it's amazing. One of the best VR experiences ever.
I did do that because when I had Game Pass on Xbox, it was one of the free games that you got, and that game, I can only imagine. It looked amazing on my screen. I can only imagine having that thing on a headset. It would be freaking glorious.
So, Ryan, when you're playing it, are you playing in the third person, or are you playing in the cockpit view?
Oh no, I'm actually playing in cockpit. Absolutely. Okay. So I have the HUD in front of me, which is the heads-up display. It's the only way to play it. Third person is for replays, and it's great. It is incredible. You get to see it from a different point of view because you've already done it, but at the same time, it's a new perspective. So a mission takes 15, 20 minutes, and then you watch the replay for 15, 20 minutes, and it's an easy thing for you to like comment on your own reaction without your of course your voice involved with it. But no, it's an incredible game. I love it so much because you see the contrails of the plane. You see the speed brakes for the F-14A Tomcat come out, which is literally between the vertical stabilizers. They come out like this. And when you're going fast, you see the wings fold in, and actually it's so good. So Ace Combat 7 with the Top Gun Maverick package, I highly recommend it. Or you can just come to my channel and watch it. So
that's awesome. Yeah, I love fighter jets. In high school, if you asked me what I was going to do when I got out of high school, hands down, not a doubt about it, I was going to go to the Air Force. I was going to be a fighter pilot. But that didn't happen. But I'm kind of glad that it didn't. But at the time, I knew that's exactly what I was going to do because I love jets. And I played Ace Combat 6 way back in the day. I was surprised how big of a gap there was between games because Ace Combat 6 was 2007 and Ace Combat 7 was 2019. There was like a 12-year gap between games.
I started with 4.
Okay. So
with the 14A Tomcat on the cover. That's what I started with.
Rinsler said the same thing. He's been playing them all since Ace Combat 4.
Yep. Dude, shout out. Seriously.
So
we some old fuckers.
So, like one of my favorite movies from the 80s was the original Top Gun, and I was so scared for Top Gun Maverick before it came out because I wanted it to be good, but it got delayed a million times also because of COVID, and it's one of those, old franchises that's being revived, which doesn't have a great track record. So I was like, this is going to suck. There was a lot of controversy with it. I was so happy when it came out, and it was phenomenal. It's literally one of my favorite movies of the last 5 years. Probably my favorite. No, it probably is my favorite movie of the last probably decade. I love that movie. And I actually watched it on my drive down to Vegas when I was out in the middle of the desert, driving straight for 3 hours. It's like, I'm going to put on my phone, watch it while I was on my drive.
That's real.
I love that movie. So, all right. So with that, let's go ahead and get on into today's topics. So, this first one here is where I recently stumbled across Halo Combat Devolved, and I just saw it on YouTube. I don't remember how I stumbled across it, but I came across it on YouTube, and I thought it was just someone made a video. But let me share this so everyone else can see it. So someone...
That is loud.
Sorry, I can't tell on the volume, but I thought it was someone just made this video for YouTube, but this is a playable game. I've got it right here in a playable format. So it's not just a YouTube video. Someone actually, it's basically a demo. It's got 2 playable levels at the moment, but why does it do that? Nope. That's not it. There we go. So it's basically a not just a YouTube video. Someone made Halo as like a Game Boy game, and it's playable. It's just the first 2 levels, but he's working on expanding it to more levels because on the level select screen, it's like if you go to the 3rd level, it says coming soon or on the way. So that was an inspiration for a party chat topic. I was like, what's a franchise you would like to see a demake of? Basically taking a more modern, doesn't have to be modern like within like, the last couple of years, but something more advanced like in the 3D. So I'd say like Xbox on, like if you were to basically demake it into like a previous or older generation game. So curious from you guys if you had a franchise that you would like to see a demake of in some sort of old gameplay style.
I'm gonna let Ryan go first because my kids got here a second ago. I'm gonna go get them lined out and I'll be right back. So
all
Ryan,
right, sounds good.
Take it away, sir. I'll be right back.
All right. Well, I'm gonna have to go with probably one of Neo's favorites, choices of my own. I'm going to go with literally, I think Knights of the Old Republic would be really interesting as a de-evolved, literally kind of like over the top. What is that called? Kind of like over the top like that?
A top-down view.
Yeah, but it's
like this one. So, Knights of the Old Republic. What kind of what generation would you make it in? Like a PS1?
Oh,
like a Game Boy?
No, original Legend of Zelda NES.
Okay, make it as like an N64 game.
Well, no, not even N64.
Like that look is what I mean.
That'd be kind of fun. N64. Anyway, so basically, the top down view is called like I just had
isometric.
Isometric. Thank you.
Okay.
Yeah, an isometric view of a top down. It's literally somewhere in the neighborhood of like the original Fallout 1.
Okay, that's
like
Knights
of the Old Republic as an isometric, like in Fallout 1 style. That it'd be very interesting. I don't know if I would love it, but I would probably love it for the fact that it's nostalgic, but it's also very different. I'd probably have a weird boner. It'd be like Neil's like going, wait, what?
No worries. I like it. So KOTOR, but it looks and plays like the original Fallout.
Yes, exactly. Okay.
That's a good answer. That's pretty cool. So, Alex, did you have something for this one, or do you want me to go first?
I think I misunderstood the question. Is this what game do you want to have devolved backwards?
Yeah, essentially, if you were to take like a more modern game and then make a game for it, but in like a previous generation.
Okay, I'm gonna fly off the seat of my because I did the opposite. I picked an older game that I love that I want to see remade.
Oh, that's another not on today's party chat, but that is another party chat
Okay.
topic I've got in the works.
So real quick, off the top of my head, because this is gonna sound stupid, but I do love point and click adventure games.
Okay. There's a
Monkey
lot of great
Island,
point and clicks.
Indiana Jones and the Fate of Atlantis, stuff like that. I would love to see a game. Let's just say for sake of being relevant, Oblivion, a game like Oblivion,
Okay.
but
In a
brought
point and click.
brought back to that point and click adventure thing. I think that would be super fun. I mean, it would be way too big. Obviously, we'd have to shrink it down a little bit, but um, I used to have so much nostalgia, and I used to sit and I would just go through and solve those little goofy puzzles in Indiana Jones and Monkey Island and all that stuff. And there was another one, I think it was called the Labyrinth or something like that. It was like a Greek mythology one that I played. I can't remember the name of it though. Do you remember that one?
I don't remember what it was called, but I remember playing it as a kid too. I think I played the demo of it, but yeah, it was a Greek mythology.
Yeah, you had to.
I liked the idea, but I didn't know what to do.
You had to fight like a minotaur or something at some point. Like you had to rescue the princess. Like it was one of those.
The one thing I remember is I was on a dock and in a bay, and ships and stuff couldn't go out of the bay because they tried to. Like there was rock mountain, and it would close and like crush anything that tried to leave. That's the one thing I remember about that game. So it was like if anyone knows what we're talking about, it was a Greek mythology point and click from like the 90s, early 90s. So, all right. Well, you look that up and say hi to chat. And I do want to give a shout out to all you guys. You can push me over the edge. I'm at 300 subs. So thank you, everyone. I appreciate that. And dude saying, I forgot to say hi to dude. Dude, yes, I see you. He's over on Rumble. He says, I wonder if Neo forgot the Rumble chat. Nope. I see you there. And that's why there are 3 people. Paul's supposed to be here as well. Hey, I see Dutch in chat as well. What's up, Dutch? You find anything?
I did. So I found 3 possibilities. Either it's the Labyrinth of Time, Wrath of Gods, 1994 was a classic point-click adventure game, and then there's another one called Odyssey: The Search for Ulysses.
That sounds.
That was from 2000. That's a little bit too late.
That's a little bit later.
I'm thinking from the 90s, so it's either Wrath of God or Labyrinth of Time. I'm pretty sure. But congratulations on 300 subs, dude. That's freaking awesome.
I appreciate it. So, hey, Flame Age is here as well. What's up, Flame Age? All right, good stuff. Oblivion. That would, the whole Elder Scrolls. Like you could make endless point and clicks out of the Elder Scrolls franchise. That would be a great thing. And I know that's kind of a genre that's kind of disappeared. You don't really see a lot of point and clicks nowadays.
Yeah.
Which I think you talked about that on your last appearance on Party Chat. Was you brought up point and clicks. I don't remember what the topic was, but you brought up point and clicks. I'm
kind of a broken record. I talk about the same things a lot.
No, that's all right. So Elder Scrolls point and click, that would be great.
I have a lot of nostalgia for the point and click adventure games, man. I'm not sure what it is about them, but that little 16-bit graphics and the music, and they've got a special place. And I always look back fondly on those times where I just sit on my computer with playing as Indiana Jones trying to rescue Sophia. It's good stuff.
Did you, because before you got your guys' channels took off with Helldivers, you were playing Indiana Jones and the Fate of Atlantis. Did you finish that one? Because I was watching those streams. No. I don't know if you finished it.
Not in any way that would be able to be streamed. I mean, I've beat the game before, but when I did that playthrough, we shifted gears and the channel went in another direction, and I just left it.
Okay, I was like, I don't think I remember seeing a stream of him finishing it. I was like, I don't think I missed it, but okay.
Yeah.
And Fobhopper saying that that reminds me of the game series Shadowgate, which is a point and click adventure, had tons of booby traps. I think I've heard the name Shadowgate, but I know nothing about it. So, and October Mike is here saying congrats on 300. What's up, October Mike? Good to see you, and thank you, appreciate it. So, so I have a few answers. I'll start off with the not a cop-out answer, but I thought where to go? Oh, so I showed someone made basically original Halo on Game Boy, but you could also demake Halo and make it look and play like classic Doom. I would love to do that instead of fighting demons or Nazis. If it was Wolfenstein, you're fighting the Covenant in 8-bit first-person shooters graphics. That would be really cool. But to deviate more so from Halo, and one that we haven't found out a lot about this game, but it basically could be essentially this. And one of my favorite games, and I just finished it last week on Wednesday, is Ninja Gaiden. I love hack and slashes, Ninja Gaiden Black. And I would love to see basically a side-scrolling, 18, 16-bit hack and slash. But that's essentially what it looks like we're getting with Ninja Gaiden Ragebound later this year. But we don't have a whole lot about it, but that could very well kind of fill that, void, if you want to call it that. So that's something that is on the horizon and may kind of be basically a Ninja Gaiden a demake, essentially. But a completely new one, I was thinking, I would love to see Portal done in a 2D side-scrolling puzzle platformer, because I love puzzle platformers like Braid and Limbo and Hue, and what was the Swapper? That was a tough one. But I love 2D puzzle. I love just puzzle platformers in general, which Portal is a 3D physics puzzle platformer, which that's why Portal is like my favorite puzzle game ever. Well, more specifically 2, because first one basically a tech demo, in Portal 2 they just really fleshed out all the concepts. But I would love to see Portal done as a 2D puzzle platformer. That would be amazing. And this shout out to you, Alex, because this is one of our favorite games, Subnautica.
Yes.
I would love to see Subnautica as a 2D, like 8-bit, 16-bit, and it looks and plays like Dave the Diver, but it's in the Subnautica universe.
I got to look up what Dave the Diver was like. I don't think I ever played that one.
I haven't played it yet. I do have it because other co-host who's not here tonight, Carl, he loves this game. It was like his game of the year for that year, whatever year it came out. I think it was 2023, and he gifted it to a bunch of people, myself included. I haven't gotten around to playing it yet. I'm sure I'll like it when I do, but it's an underwater, you basically go spearfishing to come up with food for your restaurant that you do during the day, I think is what I think. But you could totally do that gameplay style in the Subnautica universe, because a lot of it is underwater.
Oh, that's awesome. Okay, so it's a new game, but it's made with the 16-bit graphics.
Yeah, it came out a couple years ago, but it looks like a game that could have been like on the Super Nintendo.
Yeah, that's super cool. I'm watching a quick video of it right now. That does look kind of fun. Yeah, right on. That looks like a game. Like, do you remember there was a time for these retro style games where they would be like on like a tablet or something? Like, there's a game that I play on my phone called Kingdom.
Oh, I remember you mentioning that a while back.
Yeah, and it's just like this. It's got that 16-bit or whatever it is, 16 or 18-bit graphics, but it's very pixel art esque, and it's got. I love pixel art. I'm a sucker for that stuff. So anytime somebody builds a game around that, I'm in.
I don't dislike pixel art, but because my favorite genre is Metroidvanias, a lot of Metroidvanias are pixel art. So anytime a Metroidvania is not pixel art and looks amazing, like Metroid Dread, that's an immediately giant +1 for me. Just because we're so inundated with pixel art Metroidvanias. But yeah, so those are a few games that I would love to see a demake of. And it's kind of funny because, around the N64 PS1 era, everything moved to polygons and 3D, and basically like we've moved on to 3D. There's no 2D games, and that's why I don't know the details of it, but Symphony of the Night, they wanted, like, I think it was Sony wanted Symphony of the Night to be 3D, and Konami's like, no, we're making it 2D. And they're like, no, we got to make everything 3D now, because that's the thing. And so to kind of satiate that request, they put some 3D like sprites in the game. But it's probably good that they did stay with the 2D, because that's a highly well-regarded game. And look at Castlevania 64. That one was, from what I hear, was absolute trash.
Oh, Castlevania. Yeah.
But there was this like long gap where everything was going to better and better graphics, basically from N64 up to like the 360 era, and then we started getting a resurgence of going back to 2D games, and games that looked like they belonged back then, as well as ones that are in 2D but look really good as well. Like my favorite one of those that's not a Metroid game is Shadow Complex. That's one of my favorite Metroidvanias, and it looks great too. So, but I realized a moment ago that I asked you guys what you've been playing, and I skipped over myself. I do that every once in a while, and I didn't talk about what I've been playing. So before we move on to our next topic, I'll go ahead and talk about that a little bit. So I was something that I just got back to playing a little bit here and there for the first time in like a year. As I pulled my drum set out, and I've been playing some Rock Band 3 again, and that's been fun because I freaking love Rock Band. And last year I pulled it out for a week or so and played it for like the first time in like 15 years. I had lost all my skills because I usually play on expert, and I've got the Ion drum set, which has all the cymbals and stuff. So it's basically, because someone got mad at me when I said this on Party Chat last time when I was in the studio, or it might have been on one of my other streams. It's basically an actual electronic drum set, just has a Rock Band brain. You could swap it out with an actual electronic drum kit brain. You could play the actual electronic drums on it. So when I was in my heyday, I'm playing on the expert pro drums, and one of my favorite things ever. So I basically had to drop it back down to easy and work my way back up because I'm so out of practice. But that's been a lot of fun playing that again. And the other big thing I've been playing, because it is leaving Game Pass tomorrow, at least I think it is. I was like, it's April 30 or 31 days. So tomorrow, the end of the month. So I've been panic playing it before it leaves Game Pass, and that is a Metroidvania. That is The Last Case of Benedict Fox, which is a 2D Metroidvania, and it looks pretty good. It's very stylistic. It's not like Shadow Complex where it looks like realistic, but it's got a pretty good art style. It's what's the word? Lovecraftian. It's very Lovecraftian. You have like this like entity that lives within you. It's like a demon or something, and then you work together to solve. You're a detective in like, the Roaring 20s, whatever, and so you're trying to solve these murders, and you go into like these people who've died. You go into their minds, and you have to get to the end and beat the boss to unlock the clues to figure out what you need to do next. So very interesting. I finished that up a couple nights ago. Got the last achievement. So those are what I have been playing lately. So, Clandorian Gaming in chat saying a demake of Star Wars Jedi Survivor to play like Jedi Academy. No.
A remake of Jedi Survivor to play like the Super Star Wars edition from the Super Nintendo of Empire Strikes Back and Return of the Jedi. Remember those games?
Super Star Wars, Super Empire, and Super Return of the Jedi. Yes, because Jedi Academy is my favorite Star Wars game ever.
It's a great game.
It's a 3D game, as is Jedi Survivor, so it definitely counts because those are like 3 console generations apart, essentially, because that was an original Xbox game. But given that they're both 3D, I would say a demake would be like what Alex just mentioned, would be like taking Jedi Survivor and making it play like those Super Star Wars games. That would absolutely qualify. That would be a lot of fun because I played those way back in the day. And I've been looking forward to playing them again for the first time since I was a kid. Now that I've gotten into retro achievements, I'm going to be playing those and get achievements for them. So
they're so freaking hard, dude. They're so much harder than you remember. Like I went back because I had like an emulator or something for Nintendo, and I got those games. It was like the first thing I did was get the old Super Star Wars games. And my God, especially Empire, because Empire you got to play as like 3 different characters. You got to play as Luke, Han, I think Chewie was in there, and so it kept it fresh throughout the levels. But the boss levels are so freaking tough. They're so tough. When you got to fight that giant swamp monster on Dagobah with Luke, and you just have to freaking jump and leap over it every couple of seconds, dude. Those games were so freaking fun.
I haven't played them since I was a kid, but they are well known as being very difficult games. I'm looking forward to playing through them again. I'm not going to say that because that actually could spoil something for a future topic tonight. But the only one that I actually owned was Empire. The other 2 I never actually owned, but I did play them. Mm-hmm. So, but yeah, that is also an excellent answer, is making Jedi Survivor as a 2D platformer like the Super Star Wars games. That would be great. I would love to play that. Because I haven't played Jedi Survivor yet. I did play Fallen Order and I did complete it, but I will be playing Jedi Survivor. It's just I'm a diehard EU fan, so those games are by far the best thing Disney has done with Star Wars, but that's not a very high bar because everything they've done is trash. But yeah, and Jedi Outcast, Jedi Academy, those are my favorite Star Wars games because they're the only Star Wars games where a lightsaber acts like an actual lightsaber. No other game has ever gotten it right like those games have.
Dude, the old Jedi Academy game, did like control and then whatever that little squiggly line is, the accent line. You do that, you drop down that chat.
Yes.
You could type in realistic lightsaber. And then I think to activate the cheat, it was like Obi-Wan, but it was spelled out like Obi-Wan with a number.
Oh, that's
and
right.
Then enter. And you could activate the realistic lightsaber combat where when you slice a stormtrooper, he would just fall into pieces. It was the greatest thing ever. It was so fun.
Yes, you have to hit, I think it was Shift tilde.
Yeah.
Brings up it
drops the combat. Yeah.
Console, not console commands, but and then you have to do help me Obi-Wan with the number 1.
That's what it was.
And that will turn on cheats, and then you can enter the cheats. And that one is realistic saber combat
5 or something like that. Wasn't it like maxed out?
And it was like 0 was off and 1 was on.
Yeah.
And lightsabers are even more realistic than they already were. Yeah. I did a test stream probably like 6 months ago, and I just booted up Jedi Outcast and on the first level, and I pulled that up, put in all the cheats, just ran around the first level, just hacking stormtroopers into like 20 pieces. Oh, it was, you could see the joy in my face. It was like, oh, this is so good.
Did you have a boner? Seriously?
Maybe a little bit.
You're sporting half wood, really?
Spartan Flash says, do you remember Out of This World for Super Nintendo and PC? I remember Another World. I don't know of Out of This World. That was a 2D platformer. That was from the original NES, but I think they made a Super Nintendo version. But if it is Out of This World and not Another World, I'm not familiar with that one. Mike said he's playing all Atelier Ryza 1. I know it's a JRPG. I don't even know how to pronounce it. Let's see here. Oh, Dutch saying I'm stream sniping you for a test. No worries. I appreciate it. Gaming Brain Dogma. Hello. What's up? You're being stream sniped by the official Dutch Butters. What's up? Everyone on the Dutch Butter side. So, and Emolishan says, Emolishan, I think is how it's pronounced. Correct me if I'm wrong. I like to get pronunciations correct, since I can't hype Ghostwire Tokyo enough. Carl also is a big fan of that game. So since he's not here, I will shout that game out for him. All right. With that, let's get on to our next topic for tonight. And that is, what is your favorite spin-off game? So you got a franchise of, a whole bunch of games that are all similar. And they decide to make this one game that's very different from the rest of the games in their franchise. So do you guys have any favorite spin-off games?
Yes.
All right. You sound like you're ready and raring to go.
I am ready and raring to go. I'm going to go with one from my childhood, and it is going to be Mario's Time Machine. I was a huge fan of Back to the Future and Super Mario Brothers. Now, Mario's Time Machine was not a mixture of
this one.
Really? Yeah, you can Google it. It was not a mixture of the two. It was more of kind of like an educational kind of style learning game.
Edutainment game?
Yeah, it was different.
It's on NES and Super Nintendo.
Yes, it was. But if I had to go something with a little more modern, I was going to go with and I just had it. It is Silent Hill Book of Memories. Big Silent Hill fan. I don't like scary stuff, but for some reason I love Silent Hill. And yes, Book of Memories was different than the normal Silent Hill kind of games. So those are going to be kind of the two that I'm going to go with. Book of Memories is a little bit more RPG-ish.
Okay, I was going to ask you how that game plays because
it's not really as single player-ish, if that makes sense. But Book of Memories was on the PS Vita, I believe, and it was kind of clunky. And it's something at the same time. If you try to find it today, I think you're going to pay at least $200 for it. Like, seriously, I'm not joking. I think that was the last time I looked it up, and that was probably a couple of years ago, so maybe more. Yeah, it's very rare.
Okay.
And when I worked at Best Buy, I should have bought it then.
Oh, is it No. Never mind. Okay, I'm looking it up on Retro Achievement to see if it has a Retro Achievement set. I'm not finding it, so maybe it doesn't even exist on the platform. But both the NES
that's
and
a
the Super
bummer.
Nintendo versions of Mario's Time Machine have Retro Achievement sets.
Nice. Yeah. No,
unless it's Shattered Memories. I do see Silent Hill Shattered Memories, but I don't see it on. I see that on Wii and PS2.
No. It is Book of Memories.
All right.
So there were a couple of Silent Hill weird offshoots, for like I think there's one for PSP, the PS Vita, and then there's
PS Vita. Yep, I had to Google it.
And then there was one for, I think there was an offshoot for the Wii. I don't remember all the offshoots that the platforms they were on, but Silent Hill was very, very much prominent on PlayStation, and that's where I first played it. Was Silent Hill 2 on PlayStation 2. Now I have played the first Silent Hill, excuse me, but anyway, a lot of offshoots, a lot of weird stuff that, quite frankly, if you're trying to Google it and find it today, you're going to spend several $100s because the offshoots are very rare.
Okay. And I realized why I didn't find it on Retro Achievements right as Dude put it in chat is because PS Vita doesn't have Retro Achievement support yet. So that's why I couldn't find it. So I actually had to Google it. But yeah, it does have PSP support, just not PS Vita.
Dude, so. fucking Dude, man. Like, he's spot on it with everything.
Especially when it comes to the achievements, because he's programmed a bunch of the Retro Achievement sets for some older games. So
I don't think you've ever said that.
I know I've said it before. I just don't know if I've said it on Party Chat.
Yeah, I don't think. Yeah, no.
He's written a few achievement sets for Retro Achievement, so he's the one that got me into them. So
interesting, and
that's why we do our achievement chasers once a month, which will be on Thursday, where we talk about.
Well, now it makes sense.
Achievement hunting we've been doing. So, he says it's pronounced immolation, but he spelled Sean. I'm assuming his real name is Sean, and he made it immolation, but immolation. So, cool. All right. Well, thank you for that, immolation. All right. Hey, Christian Frades is here. What's up, Christian? Good evening. Letting us know that Jessica Alba's birthday was yesterday and still looking damn fine. So, what about you, Alex? You got a favorite spin-off game?
Oh man, I've got two that are kind of cop-outs, but I'm going to say them anyway. So technically, Super Mario Brothers was a spin-off of Donkey Kong.
I did not think about that, but that is accurate.
Yeah, Super Mario Brothers is probably the best spin-off ever created, which then spawned its own series of other spin-offs and spin-offs and spin-offs. But that's what Nintendo does. Nintendo just kind of spins off their own IPs until they just have endless games.
Dr. Mario, Mario Party.
Super Smash Brothers is a spin-off of literally every game. You know what I mean?
Yep.
There's another one that I didn't realize that it was labeled as a spin-off, but Red Dead Redemption is actually a spin-off of the original Red Dead Revolver video game. So I thought it was a sequel, but it's not. It's a spin-off.
I thought so too, but I haven't played them because I have no interest in those games. But I know a lot of people do have.
Sure.
Well, this is something I have said on Party Chat many times, that I think Rockstar is the most overrated dev in the industry. I find their games incredibly boring. Not bad. They're just not for me.
Yeah. Okay. Fair enough.
But I've heard that Red Dead Revolver, a lot of people really like that one as well. I thought it played just like Red Dead, just as an original Xbox game. And I thought Red Dead was a sequel to it. So if it's not, you'll have to let me know kind of what the differences are.
I've never played Red Dead Revolver, but I think I've did like the synopsis of the story in preparation for playing some of the other ones, and it was basically because the main character of Red Dead Revolver was not John Marston. No. John Marston was like a name that he mentioned in the game. It was like a side character that nobody really cared about in the original game, and now the second game is all about John Marston.
Okay,
and then obviously Red Dead 2 is a prequel to Red Dead Redemption, so it's all kind of like the story is all over the place, but technically it's a spinoff. I didn't know that, but that's pretty cool to see.
Alex, I do have a real quick question. I know you've been here before, but Carl and I have to, to channel Carl. Do you know that Neo hates fun? Because he does. He hates fun. I'm just gonna say that. Like,
what makes you think I hate fun today?
Well, where do I start? No, I'm kidding. No. It's a long running joke.
Got me on that one. I thought it was serious for a second. I was like, oh, what's he gonna say?
No, it's
Neo hates fun.
The meme is I hate fun, and the other one is I hate tangents.
Oh, okay. So
Dude, you do hate tangents.
No, I don't.
he's very
Sometimes I try to get us back on topic, but I don't mind tangents.
He's got an outline.
If you've ever watched his face during a tangent, it goes like this.
It's that it used to, before it changed to Tuesday nights, we had very specific time frame of 90 minutes, so I kind of had to keep it more on topic. But
That's
since
very
we moved
true.
it to Tuesday nights, we don't really have a specific time we got to end at, because both you and Mark had stuff going on. And that's why it was basically a quick 90 minutes back then. But now we have more time, so tangents I don't mind as much now.
See the time constraints. I told you he hates fun. I don't get it.
All right. The real answer to the question would be the Counter-Strike series. Counter-Strike is a spin-off of the Half-Life game.
Yep.
I used to play the absolute crap out of Half-Life, and then
it was originally a Half-Life mod.
Yeah. It's kind of like DayZ is a mod for Arma. So like you got Arma, and then DayZ is a mod for that game. It's like built around that game, but it's technically its own thing. So it's kind of like a spin-off. So that's another good one too.
Same thing happened with Team Fortress, also originally a mod for Half-Life that became its own game.
Oh, that's right. That's Valve as well, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah.
Have you heard of that kind of like Half-Life? Basically, it's on Steam. That's basically
the VR one.
No, not the VR one. It was done as like, I don't know, a sequel or anything. It was remade. What the hell?
Oh, Black Mesa.
Yes, Black Mesa. I have that on Steam.
That's a fan-made remake in a much newer engine of the original
Half-Life. Okay, yeah, no, I have that. I want to play that one day.
I've started it, but that's I'm gonna at some point I'm gonna go back and play that one, because I played it all the Half-Lives back in the day, but I haven't played them in forever. So I'm going to play through Black Mesa at some point, and then I'm going to play through Half-Lives 2 and episodes 1 and 2 again at some point. So yes, I've only started it, so I can't really say one way or another, but I've heard that they both have their pros and cons, being the original and Black Mesa.
Okay.
So, because one of the biggest complaints of the original one was at the end when you go to Zen, which is like the alien dimension or whatever, was too long. I don't remember having an issue with it back then, but that's what a lot of people say is like their biggest complaint. So in Black Mesa, they really cut that down, and I think kind of tightened up the last act of the game. So, and yeah, I was thinking that dude saying that, going with that logic, Dota is a spinoff of Warcraft. I thought that was the case, but I don't know anything about MOBAs, so I wasn't sure. But Christian saying, I enjoy Midnight Club, San Andreas, and Manhunt. If I was to play a Rockstar game, if it's not Rockstar Table Tennis, probably my next one I would want to play would be Midnight Club. But yeah, when it comes to like GTA and Red Dead, I'm not a fan of those.
I want to play what GTA 5 is. It's 5, right?
The one that's about to come out is 6.
Okay, yeah. So GTA
5 has been on 3 generations.
Okay, yeah, I want to play 5 because they have that police mod, and as somebody who was actually a cop in the military, like it's a really good mod in my opinion, and it looks like a lot of fun. So it's one thing I want to stream one day eventually.
All right, we got some love in the chat for Diddy Kong Racing. I know a lot of people like that one.
My dad and I. He got that for a Nintendo 64, and him and I played the shit out of that. Like, seriously, we got so good that we could actually start a lap behind, let the players lap.
Oh, I remember you mentioning that before.
Yes. God, Diddy Kong Racing is incredible. I like Diddy Kong Racing better than Mario Kart. And I know people are going to go, no, seriously, Diddy Kong Racing is better.
I played a crap load of Mario Kart 64, but I didn't play anywhere near as much Diddy Kong Racing, but I like Diddy Kong Racing more because you had carts, like little hovercrafts, boats, things, and you had planes.
Are we doing sunglasses?
I'm getting messages that Dutch sniping your channel. The people in his chat are telling me to put my sunglasses on. So I'm just
I put mine on too, but they're out in my car.
I'm playing. I could, you know what I should do just for Nerdy Neo over here is I should put the OG.
Yeah.
Glasses on.
Well, yeah. No, that makes more sense.
There you go.
So
I don't think anybody from the gaming channel knows that I have these. These are OG. These are old. These are from like 5 years ago.
So yeah, Diddy Kong Racing, that'd be a great spin-off of the Donkey Kong games. And let's see here. I saw something else. Oh yeah. So who else? Oh, Clan Dorian did not realize that Red Dead 1 and 2 was actually a spin-off of Revolver, and that was his answer as well.
Yep.
So all right. Dude saying Midnight Club 3 is the best racing game. I don't know about that, but I like it.
I don't think I agree, but sure.
It's also the only series from Rockstar that he likes as well. So I played a little bit of Midnight Club, and I liked what little bit I played.
It's got to be the OG Need for Speed Hot Pursuit. It's got to be the best racing game, isn't it?
I would say if you're going to go arcade style, absolutely. But if you want my absolute favorite racing game of all time, it's probably going to have to be Need for Speed Underground 2 or maybe Most Wanted, because the customization and the story are incredible. It's not just arcade racing, but it's literally different styles of racing, and you get to upgrade your car. And it came out after, of course, the the whole Fast and Furious, which big car guy right here. So I fell in love.
I like a lot of racing games. I'm not going to say which though, because we'll be doing an episode of top 5 at some point where we're ranking our top 5 favorite racing games. So
all right,
look out for that sometime in the future. You want to be on that one?
Well, dude, I'm literally a car guy. I literally, after I got out of the military, I turbocharged a car that was not turbocharged. My buddy and I turned wrenches for hours.
All right.
Absolutely. Oh shoot, dude! ODST is a spinoff of Halo.
Oh, that's a good one.
True.
ODST is excellent. Who did someone say that in chat?
Yeah,
said that Christian did.
Yeah.
Halo Wars is the first thing I thought of as a spinoff of Halo. I'm not big on RTS though.
Me neither.
But Reach and ODST are spinoffs, and those are great.
Yes, Rinsler, San Francisco Rush.
San Francisco Rush was my first real racing game, and I got a steering wheel on my N64 for that game.
My dad and I played the shit out of that too. Like we would just it's so much fun. And then the car would flip and blow up. But 2049 as if young, but San Francisco Rush, absolutely.
So, all right, I'll add you. Ryan wants to be on.
Yeah, I would love to, man. I love me some racing games. If you want to get really nerdy about it too, I've played the Gran Turismo games. So,
all right, we don't have that scheduled yet, but it will be coming.
No, you're fine. You're fine.
So I'll definitely reach out to you. I got you written down here. So, and with that, I saw someone in chat brought up my answer, and that is October Mike. Metal Gear Rising Revengeance. It's the only Metal Gear game I played because, as I mentioned, I'm a big fan of hack and slashes. I never played any of the Metal Gear games back in the day because they were mainly PlayStation. I never had a PlayStation. I know I would like them because I do like stealth games. Usually when you got the two competing franchises, although Metal Gear is far larger as a franchise, but my stealth franchise was Splinter Cell. I loved the crap out of Splinter Cell. I'm pretty sure Alex loves Splinter Cell as well.
It's my number one game.
Which one?
Chaos Theory, of course.
Chaos Theory, excellent. That's the best Splinter Cell.
Of course.
But yeah, I was on the Splinter Cell side of things, and then when they showed Metal Gear Rising Revengeance at E3, like 2012 or 2013, or it might have been earlier than that because it was a 360 game. But yeah, when they were showing you like you could chop individual things with your sword, I was like, I want to play that immediately. So I played that, loved it. I only played through it one time. I really need to get back to playing that again because that is an excellent game. I love hack and slashes. It's the only Metal Gear game I played, but is absolutely my favorite spinoff. That game is awesome. And then, as mentioned on our last topic, another Half-Life spinoff. My favorite puzzle games ever, Portal. Portal's a spinoff of Half-Life. Those are my favorite puzzle games ever. Those are awesome and phenomenal. And one other kind of spinoff, because there was Guitar Hero, but Harmonix split and Activision did Guitar Hero. Then Harmonix went and made Rock Band. So it could kind of be considered a spinoff of Guitar Hero. The Rock Band games, I freaking love those. Like I said earlier, I was just playing drums again for the first time in forever. I love all those music rhythm games, but Rock Band particularly 3 is my favorite. So those are a few of my answers for favorite spinoff games. So, yeah, he's saying, is Metal Gear Rising a considered spinoff? Absolutely, it's a spinoff. And yeah, it's the only one that I played as well of the Metal Gear franchise. So, Burnout Revenge, got Rayman Arena. Paul's here with saying howdy. What's up, Paul? Good evening, buddy. Any 90s PC? No one's mentioned that in a long time. I don't think anyone even mentioned that in Vegas. But yeah.
Really?
It's been a while.
It's something that unfortunately kind of went by the wayside. I think there's a few of us that still remember that. Well, there's probably a lot of us that still remember that. But I shout out to Shadu, who was writing literally like a book. But he kind of took it a different direction. Love me some Shadoo. He's a good kid.
So,
He's not a kid. He's a lot of he's an adult now. Fuck, that's crazy.
they grow up so fast.
Oh, shut up. Make me feel like an old fucker.
Or all three of us are within about a year of each other, so we're all
Yeah. I'm literally shy about 3.5 months of being 40.
Yeah, and I'll be there soon. But let's see here. Oh, Immolation says any 90s PC babies here. Probably all three of us. He says Mech Assault was the Xbox version of Mech Warrior. I was for Mech Warrior because Mech Warrior was more arcadey and you couldn't customize your mechs, so I wasn't really interested in that one. But I played the crap out of Mech Warrior 4 on my PC. I love mechs, and that game was awesome. I loaded out my Atlas with literally everything because that's the heaviest mech can hold the or no, not the Atlas. The Atlas, there's two mechs at the largest weight, which is 100 tons. And the Atlas is one of them, but you couldn't actually put that many weapons on it. The other 100-ton mech, I think it was called
Shock is here.
The Dashi, or I don't know how it was pronounced, but it was like D-A-I-S-H-I or something like that. That's the one that I loaded out to 100 tons and I could waste almost any mech in one shot because it had so much armor and weapons on it. It was super slow, but nothing could take it down. So I was all about the Mech Warrior. Immolation says Rocksmith. That's a good one. I don't know how to play guitar, but I was very interested in using that to learn to play guitar. I just never got around to it. So.
Just to kind of like,
what's up, Shock?
Yeah, I said, oh shit, Shock is here. Just to kind of frame my 90s PC experience. Our very first computer was an E-machine with Windows 98.
My first PC was Windows 3.1. It was a compact Presario.
So you're rich fucker? I'm just kidding. No, seriously. My parents didn't have a need for a computer. We had nothing to do with that, and it just we got one in like little. When did Windows 98 come out? Like 97-ish?
Probably.
Yeah, so I think we got one literally in 98 for Windows 98.
I had what was the old Dells that had like the cow on the front? It was a.
Oh, that was Gateway.
Gateway.
Yeah, that was Gateway. Yeah, that was Gateway.
That was the second computer I had. It was a Gateway. I can't remember what the first one was, but
I had a Gateway.
Gateway 2000. My friend had a Gateway 2000, and I got a video game that our computer would play, but it was barely, and it was the Star Wars the Phantom Menace. Yeah, remember that?
Yes, I played that over at a friend's house.
Yeah, it would barely play it. The graphics card would play literally like 70% of it, but then like there would be some areas like they would be like blacked out, and so I had to play it at my friend's house because he had a Gateway 2000, which was fancier.
Nice. My PC gaming experience is all of the original LucasArts games. It was Dark Forces.
Yes, that's what got me into Kyle Katarn being my second favorite Star Wars character.
Yeah, those like Starfighter, TIE Fighter.
TIE Fighter. I love
like
that
those
game.
those were the old PC games that I played. It was almost always LucasArts in some fashion. LucasArts, and that includes the Indiana Jones, Fate of Atlantis, also a LucasArts game. So that was kind of like that kind of shaped my PC, 1994 to 1997 era.
Agreed, man. Absolutely agreed. Also, something that shaped my future for PC gaming was the original StarCraft. It was the only game that was banned from where the house that I grew up in, because
you mentioned that before as well.
Because we had to play up on dial-up modem, and so I would play with my friend who had the game. And we would try to play on battle.net, but you'd have to dial up with the whole, And so if somebody picked up the phone, cut it all out. And I had an hour to play. Do you know how hard it is to play on dial up with an hour of online play?
I had games back then. My first PC games were on 3.3 inch or 3.5 inch floppies. But the ones that I remember are the ones that Alex was mentioning. I got a pack of discs that had Rebel Assault 1 and 2, Dark Forces demo, which I've talked about on Party Chat before because I played that demo more than the actual game. TIE Fighter, and it had a like behind the scenes disc for Phantom Menace because it was right around that time. So,
man, do you remember what was that game? You just reminded me of one of the Star Wars games that it's not listed on this LucasArts thing, but
Renzo's saying Rogue Squadron for the win. I
Rogue
love
Squadron
that. On
was
N64.
definitely
That
yeah. Well,
and also mentioned was Shadows of the Empire. I played the crap out
Shadows
of
of the
both those.
Empire.
Yep.
And
Shadows of the Empire was hard as a kid. It was a hard game.
I mentioned this when we did our top 5 Star Wars games, because Shadows of the Empire is in my top 5. I remember the level halfway through where you get the jetpack. I got stuck because I thought I didn't realize you could actually push the jump button to actually go up. I thought it just made you not fall as fast so you could glide across like canyons. And then I was like, I can't make this jump. So I was stuck for a while until I realized you can actually push the button to get thrust to go up.
Paul, you're showing your age. 3.5 floppy. Yes, that was an actual thing for a computer.
Paul, you're our age too. You should know what 3.5
I feel like Paul is younger than us, isn't he?
He's about a year younger than me.
Oh, well then he knows. You shut up, dude. Get the fuck out of here.
And then someone else here.
Myst. Oh god.
Oh, the original Myst, yeah.
Myst and Riven, the point and click puzzle games. I always wanted to play those. I never did until I played the remaster of Myst on Game Pass a year or so ago before it left.
God, I never could beat that game. It was too highbrow for me.
yeah, it was for me too. Because I haven't really changed a whole lot, but as a kid I was an idiot, so it's like I'd love to play the remake, I guess, and give it a shot. But
because the original was basically like one screen at a time. In the remake, you can actually move around.
You'd move through Myst like you would move through Google Streets View, where you just click to the next frame.
That's a perfect analogy. That's exactly how it was. But the remake, you actually walk around in third person to go to these different areas, and it was really pretty. And then Clan Doran mentions his first Star Wars game was Episode 1 Racer on N64. Also an excellent game and a great racing game.
Paul and Shock, man, are going back and forth about this 3.5.
3.5 not good enough for you, huh, Paul? He's got the pickles.
Cracking me up.
I didn't have it, but one of my friend's computer was. I remember having the 5-inch floppies, the big ones. So,
really, the big ones? You had to go there, huh?
Yeah, just got to put that in there. I can't wear those forever, man. They freaking mess with my eyeballs.
Our computers at school had like the 5-inch floppies and then like the 3.5 floppy A, and so it was one of those things that like you could get a 3.5 floppy A and you could save your stuff on it. And as a kid, I saved some dirty pictures on those.
Shock is saying that, speaking of school lab, Shock says his first PC game was Battlefield 1942 on the school's computer lab. Nice.
I have a funny story about the school computer too. I saved it for one of your next questions though.
Oh, okay. I was going to say go for it, but if it's for our next one of our upcoming questions, then we'll hold on to it. Oh, Flame Mage says, wait till you hear 5 1/4. That's right. 5 1/4 is what I meant. Yeah, it's 5 1/4, 3.5 were the floppy sizes. I remember
3.5. Yeah.
I remember at one of my jobs that we had a really old device, an imaging device, and it saved data on floppies. And I was talking to one of my coworkers, and she was like barely 20 or something, and I was talking about floppies. She's like, "What's that?" I'm like, on Word, the little save icon, that's the floppy disk. She's like, "Oh!" I'm like, "Oh my god, I feel freaking old." So,
Farsi, yes. Oregon Trail for the win.
That's what I played on my school computer lab. Everyone was playing Oregon Trail.
Everybody would rush to grab the Oregon Trail disc. Everybody.
Yes. Dude, I bought the remake of Oregon Trail for my kids. It's on Steam. It's still like 16-bit graphics. It plays like a side scroller.
What?
Yeah. It's an updated Oregon Trail, and it's freaking brutal.
Son of a what? Hold on.
I got it it was cheap. It wasn't that expensive either. It was super
like
fun game.
Tetris. That game has been remade like a million times.
All right, you shut your horse mouth right now. Dude, that looks awesome.
Look,
I've never seen that.
Oregon Trail.
Paul found the emoji for it. There's your 3.5-inch floppies right there.
Yeah. What's the save symbol for? Like what?
Oh my god.
Oh, so what's up, Farsi? I hadn't said hi to you yet, but he says, anyone remember zip drives? I remember zip drives. I think I still have a couple of my zip disks. I don't know where they are, but I'm pretty sure I have some around here.
I don't remember zip drives.
They were like giant they're not giant. They're like floppies. They're a little bit bigger and they're a little bit thicker, and they could hold like 100 megabytes rather than the like.
Really? No, I've never
What was
had
the 3.5-inch floppy? It was like 4 megabytes.
I
So
I think the 3.5 floppy was like 10. I think it was 10 megabytes.
it's been so
Yeah,
long.
Oregon Trail was legit school assignment in computer class. Yeah,
Dude,
yep.
that was the
It was
shit.
history. It was history class for me. I had a history teacher named, I think his name was Mr. Mooney. Yeah, that's his name. He was one of the best teachers I ever had growing up. And he had a computer in the side and it had Oregon Trail on it. And when we studied the westward expansion of America, the gold rush and all that stuff, he's like, okay, your assignment today is to go play freaking Oregon Trail.
I remember when my middle school got a new computer lab. It was literally a trailer, by the way. And we got probably somewhere in the neighborhood of 20 new computers in this trailer. And they were all just set up. And that's where, and the teacher sat in the center with her computer and she had the discs. And everybody was like going, okay, it's Friday. You know, you can do whatever you want. You want to work on assignments. You want to play a game. She's like going, you know, come up and get what game you want. And everybody be like going, I want Oregon Trail, I want Oregon Trail. And I think they had 3 whole copies. So you had to be like literally one of the first ones.
Nice. So I'll shout out to Flame Age because I just talked about this on a stream within like the last week or so, and I didn't realize until just now that I had the name of this game in my head wrong for 30 years. And he says his first PC game was on a 5.25-inch floppy, Number Munchers on the computer lab. I thought it was Number Crunchers. I looked it up. It's Number Munchers, and that was one of my favorite edutainment games because it helped you with math. I played a lot of it. And the other one that Immolation mentions is grew up playing Math Blaster. I also played a heck of a lot of Math Blaster in school as well. So those were my two and Oregon Trail. Those were like my school computer lab games that I played. And it looks like you can actually, I just Googled Number Munchers and you go to the website and you can play Number Munchers in the browser. So shout out to Number Munchers.
Nice.
All right. Yeah. Playmate says 100 megabytes on the zip drives. Yep. Hole punch. Oh, I heard about that. Well, Ajax, I didn't say hi to you either. Hello, Ajax says used a hole punch on the old 720 kilobyte 3.5-inch floppy to make it a 1.4 megabyte. That's right. 1.44 megabytes. That's the number I was looking for. The only ones I ever used were 1.44, but I had heard that you could punch a hole in one and then you could use it both sides so you get more storage. I don't know how that works, but I've heard that was a thing.
I didn't know that was a thing. I had no idea.
So, immolations. How's Morrowind not been mentioned yet?
Look, I've never played Morrowind. I love me some Elder Scrolls, but yeah, I mean, I just don't think Morrowind technically kind of.
Morrowind is an answer to a future party chat topic of mine that I'm not going to tell you what the topic is, but so I'm not going to talk about it. But Nightmare is here as well, saying evening. What's up, Nightmare? Good to see you as always. So,
man, how about some Elder Scrolls Arena? Have you tried to play that game on Steam? Oof.
That's technically Elder Scrolls 2, right? Or was that the first one?
No, Arena is the first.
Okay, Daggerfall was the second one, right?
Yeah, Daggerfall is the second one.
I wasn't sure which one was which.
Yeah, so no, Arena is actually really hard to get to play on a new computer because like the framing of the screen because it just doesn't compute. I think I finally figured out how to do it because you have Windows, you have full screen stuff like that. I think they finally fixed it. So if you want to play the original Elder Scrolls, it's literally 8-bit. It's awful looking, but I want to play that, and I want to start at Arena and then Daggerfall, and then Morrowind, and then go into Oblivion because I love Oblivion. I don't know if I want to play the remaster though. Body Type A and 1 and 2.
Yeah,
I'm going
to be playing it because I love Oblivion, and it's been.
I'll
I
probably
haven't played it in like almost 20 years, so I'm looking forward to playing it again.
That was the first RPG I ever played from Bethesda.
That was my first RPG ever. But I did play Morrowind just recently within the last couple weeks for the very first time ever because it came up on my roulette stream. So I'm not going to get into it though because it'll be something about on a future episode of Party Chat. So, all right. So with that, let's get on into our next topic, and we'll filibuster here for a little bit in case Alex needs it. So next topic on the agenda for tonight is shout out to Melee K. She gave this idea to me. I don't remember if she was in chat or whether it was in a chat that I was watching of her stream. But this is because of her. So shout out to Melee K, good friend of the channel. She gave me the idea for this topic, and that is, what was the favorite game you ever rented? So I'm going to go ahead and kick this one off because this is what I was alluding to a few minutes ago, and I forgot to write it down on my list until we were talking about it. But the Super Star Wars games, as I mentioned, Empire Strikes Back is the only one that I owned, but I did play all three of them. And Return of the Jedi, Super Return of the Jedi, is the one that I remember the best. Because I remember I had to go to the dentist and get a couple teeth pulled. So I was going to be out of school for a day. So my mom, before we went to the dentist to get my teeth yanked, we went to Blockbuster or Hollywood Video, one of those two, and I got to rent a movie and a game. And I don't remember why, but I remember the movie that I rented was Harriet the Spy. Rest in peace, Michelle Trachtenberg, I think is her
Yeah,
name.
no, seriously.
She recently passed away, and she's like our age. That was a
That
bummer.
one really bummed me out, actually.
But I was Harriet the Spy, and then I got to rent a game, and I rented Super Return of the Jedi, and I remember playing through that, and it was difficult, but I do remember beating it. I think the hardest part was the Death Star escape at the very end of the game was pretty difficult, but I remember renting that and having a lot of fun with that one. And I think, like I said, I own Super Empire, and I think I borrowed Super Star Wars, which was the Super A New Hope. I think I borrowed that from someone, but I love the Super Return of the Jedi, as mentioned. I haven't played them in forever. I'm looking forward to playing them again now that I'm getting back into the retro achievements. And then a couple other games that I rented that I had a lot of fun with. Mega Man, as I often mention, is one of my favorite franchises, and my favorite Mega Man game is Mega Man X3. I originally rented that. I didn't do a whole lot, but I loved the game with a little bit that I did do. I ended up buying it like from game when I used to just go into like GameStop every once in a while, kind of hang out, see what they had, and I found Mega Man X3 and bought it used. It's got Paul K. Shout out to Paul K. His name is on my Mega Man X3 cartridge. But I rented that one. I ended up buying it later. But that is absolutely one of my favorite games that I ever rented. And then one that you really wouldn't expect was, I remember renting the 1998 Winter Olympics game on N64. I rented it twice in a row because I had so much fun playing the ski jumping game. I got ridiculously good at the ski jumping mini game, so I rented a second time. I think that's the only time I ever rented the same game twice, was the 98 Winter Olympics game on N64.
Damn, man. Like you're literally you're so like you're far ahead of me on the renting thing. One of my favorite games, and I'm going to say it in the same ballpark, was obviously renting GoldenEye 007. That's the reason I got it for my birthday. Anyway, for the N64.
I never rented it. I owned that immediately.
But I'm gonna take it back to before Blockbuster was like ginormous, in my opinion. I mean, Blockbuster was big, but it wasn't this juggernaut that it was from the 90s. When you could rent video games from your local grocery store.
I did not have that.
Literally, it would be like on a wall right by the exit and stuff like that. And it was a wall of games that you could rent, and it was like NES, Sega Genesis. I mean, I'm talking about, and like Super Nintendo was the brand new console. My parents weren't rich, by the way. I grew up poor, so we were renting.
Speaking of that, AJ, I think that's what you were laughing at a minute ago. AJ, rent. What are
you? Yeah, that's what I was laughing at. So, like, the video game that we rented initially a bunch was Super Mario Brothers 3.
Okay,
that's on the NES, because again, we had an NES, but I didn't get a new console as a kid until the 64. Didn't have a Sega Genesis, didn't have a didn't have a Super Nintendo. It was the 64. And that was literally Christmas 1996. Yeah. So yes, we were peasants. Like,
I got N64 for Christmas as well, but I don't remember what year it was. It came with Star Fox, so I know it was after Star Fox came out, because Star Fox 64, I found out recently, was not an N64 launch title. I always thought it was, but it came out after.
Ajax and Farsi are cracking me up, man.
So yeah, Ajax says there was the whole line of the LucasArts games. Yeah, X-Wing and TIE Fighter. TIE Fighter was amazing. I loved that game. Nightmare saying, I missed the days of Blockbuster. Absolutely. Immolation's streaming Oblivion 06, the original, on his channel. So shout out to Immolation.
You know what's really sad is the town that I grew up in, which I live in now. I still know where the only original Blockbuster. It's the only one, and it was the original Blockbuster is in town. I know where it is. I could go there right now and take a picture in front of it. It's not still there, but it's the building that.
Okay, gotcha. I was like, I thought the last one was in Alaska, but you're talking the first one. The building's still there, but
the building it's in a strip mall, and I know exactly where it is, and I can take a picture. I might actually have to do that, but yeah, it was the original.
Vacant or is something else in there now?
No, something's there.
Okay.
But it is where the only Blockbuster in town was, because I grew up in a town. It's basically like 5 stops on the interstate.
Okay. And Mike is saying another Star Wars game I remember playing was Revenge of the Sith on DS. I never played DS, but I did play the original Xbox game, which Carl, shout out to Carl. I thought that was one of the. I thought I had 2 original Xbox games that were not backwards compatible. I thought that was one of them. Carl's like, no, that's backwards compatible. I know it's not. And I looked it up. He was right. That is backwards compatible. So the other game that I have on original Xbox that's not backwards compatible, and I don't have my original Xbox anymore, so I have no way of playing it, is the Path of Neo. Unfortunately, I want to play that again, but it's not backwards compatible. So. And Renzo saying I listen to the Mega Man X3 soundtrack often. It is great. Mega Man X has the best soundtrack in my opinion, but X3 also has a lot of good tracks on it. So Nightmare saying his favorite rental was Armia 2. I played that on 360. That was a fun game. So what about you, Alex? You got a favorite game that you ever rented? Uh-oh, you're muted.
Nah, still muted.
Ajax worked briefly at Blockbuster. All right. And his first console was the Intellivision. All right.
How about now?
There we go.
Oh, yeah. Good now.
That was weird. Okay. So I am also a peasant. I did not have enough money to buy games, let alone waste money, as my parents would say, renting a game. There was only one place in town to rent a game, and that was at the local rental store. It was in a strip mall, and it was in the corner. So like the strip mall had 2 pieces, and then like it met in the middle, and right in the middle was the video store. I never rented a game, but going back previously to our discussion a little while ago about games in school, I did pirate Unreal Tournament 2, which came out, I believe, in 2002, according to my assistant here, ChatGPT.
Unreal Tournament 2 or Unreal Championship?
No, Unreal Tournament 2003 was released in October.
Oh, 2003. Okay.
Yeah.
Because I was like, there was Unreal Tournament, then there was Unreal Tournament 2003, and then 2004. I was like, I don't think there was an Unreal Tournament 2, but there was 2003.
It's the layman. It's considered Unreal because it's the second one in the franchise.
Okay, gotcha.
The original Unreal Tournament came out in 1999, and Unreal Tournament 2 came out in 2003. Yes. I had that on my. I was in a drafting class for ACAD, computer assisted drafting.
Okay.
And that computer had 2 games on it. One was Worms Apocalypse, I think, or one of the Worms games.
I played Worms on someone's computer once. That's although
I love that
first
game.
one of that game I played was, anybody remember Scorched Earth? It was an old DOS game. It plays just like Worms and your little tanks with all these different weapons. That was my first introduction to that genre of game.
Yeah, I played Worms, and then the other game that was on there was Unreal Tournament, and we used to. Dude, I used to spend so much time only at school, only during drafting class. I would be sitting there instead of doing my work. I would be playing Unreal Tournament. And that was like I think probably one of my first like avenues into WASD, mouse and keyboard, first person shooters. And we used to play the absolute freaking crap out of that game. It was only one computer in the class. So if you were early to class, you got that computer. Nice. So like if you showed up late one day, somebody else took that computer, they were the ones who got to play. And we'd go back and forth, and it was just a blast, man. I have a lot of fun memories sitting in class wasting time playing that game during like study hall, and I'd be like, I'm gonna go to, I can't remember my drafting teacher's name, but I'd be like, I'm gonna go to Mr. So-and-so's class for study hall. He's got something special for me to do down there, and I would just go down there and play that game.
Hey, Paul knows what I'm talking about. He said he played Scorched Earth. That was a cool game. So, so funny you mentioned Unreal Tournament 2003, because that and Dark Forces, as I just mentioned a few minutes ago. It was on a previous topic on Party Chat a while ago, but when we were talking about game demos, Unreal Tournament 2003 and Dark Forces were game demos where I played the demos more than the actual retail version of the game. And the reason why on Unreal Tournament is because Unreal Tournament 2004 came out the very next year. And it was all of 2003 plus a bunch of new stuff. So I just waited and I bought 2004 on day one. So I just skipped the retail version of 2003, but I had a demo of 2003 and I played the crap out of it. So I never.
Oh, you know what?
Online.
Maybe it was the second one, because I remember Onslaught, which was introduced in Unreal Tournament 2004. So maybe that's the one I played.
Did it have vehicles in it? Because there were no vehicles. If I remember correctly, there was no vehicles in 2003, and they added the vehicles in 2004.
No, there was. My favorite map was like an old, like monastery, like a big stone church or something like that. And then there was another one that was on a train. Does that count as a vehicle? It was like the map was a train.
Okay, no, what I'm talking, there were actual vehicles you get in and out of, and one of them, there was like a hover bike that had fans on it. There was the Scorpion, which is like this little, almost like a small warthog, but you could hit the secondary fire and blades come out of the side of it, and you could run people over and cut them in half.
Maybe I don't remember that specifically, but who knows? 2003 through 2004 was like my freshman and sophomore year in high school, so it was all kind of just blended together.
Yeah, 2003, 2004, those are great. The one thing that I wish they had done more on 2004 was they added the game type Assault. And there was one that took place in space. So you started out in spaceships and you were dogfighting, and it was like a game type where you have to it's asynchronous, not asynchronous, but you have one team that's assaulting and one team that's defending, and it goes in phases. And then after, there's like a time limit, and if you don't complete it, then you fail. But if you do complete it, then it flips, and then however much time it took you to assault, then you have to defend it for that amount of time to win. And there was like phases.
That's interesting.
And so there was one level that was in space, and you got to dogfight, and then you would land in this space station, and you would assault through the space station. That level was freaking awesome.
Yeah.
I think Paul has a great idea real quick. Top 5 MS-DOS video games.
Those will all be LucasArts games for me, like Dark Forces and TIE Fighter.
Yeah.
You know, one of the hardest video games I ever played as a kid on the NES was Top Gun. Literally. Trying to land on that damn aircraft carrier.
I don't think I ever played it, but I watched someone play it. That game was very difficult.
Oh, it is horrendously difficult. Yeah, I think we got that video game for free from somebody. I can't remember who. And I'm a big Top Gun fan. Again, the original movie, the reason I wanted to be a pilot, I want to get my pilot's license now. Trying to land on that aircraft carrier was nonsense. It was just, I don't know if anybody ever completed it, to be honest. So
yeah, that's a good question. So Ajax just subscribed. Thank you for subscribing. I appreciate that. That brings it up to 301.
Ajax is awesome.
Appreciate it, you guys. And Renzo's saying Unreal Tournament 3 did have vehicles, but no, the vehicles were introduced in Unreal Tournament 2004. I would absolutely know that for 100% fact, because I remember playing the demo of Unreal Tournament 2003, and it was just like Unreal Tournament 99, but with better graphics. And then 2004 was the one that added the vehicles. So Unreal Tournament 2003 was also good. That's another, that just gave me an idea, because our next episode of Top 5 is franchises that need to be revived. We're going to be ranking our top 5 franchises that need to be revived. And
Unreal Tournament just had an episode in Secret Level on Amazon.
Yeah, someone Renzer just mentioned that. How about that Secret Level Unreal Tournament episode? I haven't seen Secret Level yet, but I will be watching it at some point.
It was one of the better episodes, for sure. But just it's still out there in the culture. Like, still people are still talking about it. So I wouldn't be surprised if they brought out Unreal Tournament 2030 or some nonsense like that.
So, Farsi was trying to remember a game earlier. Masters of Magic. Epic. Loved it. I don't think I've heard of that one, but all right.
I don't think I have either.
But yeah, Ajax mentioned MechWarrior. We did mention that earlier. I played a crap load of MechWarrior 4. Oh, that was one of the other things I was going to say. All these PC games back in the day, I never had the guts to go play them online. I only played them offline against bots and stuff, but I had a lot of fun with that. Like Unreal Tournament, there was no way I was ever going to go online and play against other people. So I'll just have fun playing against bots.
First game I ever played online was literally StarCraft. It was battle.net, and you would be able to, play with like players against computers and stuff like that. So you'd have like, 3 players, 4 players, stuff like that. And you'd all be on a team, and then you have like 4 computers on the other side. And I wasn't very good. So, usually I had to be saved a lot as a kid.
No, it totally makes sense. But yeah, Nightmare says you need a guest for franchises to revive. Sounds great. Yeah. We don't have anybody yet, so it's just Jason and I. But that'll be next Tuesday at this time slot. We're ranking our top 5 franchises that need to be revived. So if you want to be on the panel, absolutely, you can be on there. So if anyone else wants to join that panel, let me know. So, all right. Yeah, I think we all of us got to talk about our favorite games that we rented, right?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Let's see here. All right, next topic on the agenda is, I hope I made this topic make sense. I spent a few minutes trying to figure out how to word this topic, so hopefully I got the point across. So, what we're going to talk about here for the next few minutes is franchises, or what's a franchise you would like to see explore a new genre. So like Halo is typically known as a first-person shooter. Doom is like a first-person shooter, or Age of Empires is a real-time strategy game. What's a game franchise that you would like to see try something almost like a spin-off in a new type of genre? So I hope I got that point across. Is when I sent these topics to you, is that what you got from it, Ryan?
Well, that one, no.
Okay.
But the thing is, though, is that I've played a lot of games that they've had like, so I'd say it, let's use Fallout as an example. It's the originals were isometric top 1 and 2. Then you have Bethesda that did 3, and then you had, of course, Obsidian did, New Vegas. So you have different, versions of that. So it's just, I played the original Mario's, so Mario 1, 2, 3, and then of course you had Mario 64. So I mean, they all changed, I guess, over the years. So I didn't really have a great example of something that maybe currently I'd want to see different, if that makes sense.
Okay. Well, let me. I'll go ahead and talk about mine, and maybe that might jog.
Maybe, yeah.
Turn on some light bulbs and give you some ideas. So, I didn't actually I don't remember what gave me the idea for this topic, but it just popped into my head one day. So when I sent this topic to you guys, I actually didn't even have an answer for it. I've been rummaging through my brain and looking through lists of games. I'm like, all right, this game or this franchise is known for this genre. What is another genre that it could do really well in? So the first thing that came to mind is this game sort of already existed, but it unfortunately got shut down. And that was one of my, probably my favorite, or not my favorite mobile game, but my favorite recent mobile game was Mighty Doom, which was a top-down, almost like a twin-stick shooter, but you didn't actually control your shooting. It played a lot like Vampire Survivors, but it was basically a Doom version of Vampire Survivors. Unfortunately, got shut down like a year ago after only being live a year. I was really bummed about that. But what I thought would be great would be to have Doom, but as a twin-stick shooter that plays like Smash TV sort of thing, but has really great graphics and stuff. So that's kind of where I was kind of going with that is
okay,
taking an existing franchise but doing it in a new genre. So I would love to see Doom as a top-down twin-stick shooter. That would be awesome. But I had another idea today, just popped into my head, and my favorite franchise of all time is Mass Effect. I would love to see a co-op twin-stick shooter of Mass Effect that plays very much like Mass Effect 3's multiplayer, but it's a top-down twin-stick shooter, and you got all these different classes of characters. You can throw in a really good story. You don't need the crew of the Normandy in it, just like the multiplayer. You just have all these random characters. you don't have to have Commander Shepard in it. You could just have, you can pick from a whole bunch of different lists of, species and classes and stuff, and a co-op twin stick shooter with, with all your biotic powers, your tech powers, your soldier powers. That would be freaking awesome. I would absolutely love to see Mass Effect done in a top-down co-op twin stick shooter. That would be amazing. I would play that for freaking ever. So I do have another one, but maybe I've jogged some ideas in your mind if you guys want to go, and then I'll finish up with my other idea.
You actually did. So a lot of people probably don't know that there was actually a Command and Conquer game that was actually a first person. It's called.
I did not know that. Oh,
it's called Renegade.
Renegades. I have heard of that, but I didn't realize it was a first-person shooter.
It was actually a game that was a lot of fun, and I had forgotten about it. And I think it was Ajax that kind of like sparked that memory, because he was like, Super Mario was like a first-person shooter.
Mario.
I think
the closest thing is Mouse PI is basically a Doom.
I want to play that
first-person shooter, but it looks like Steamboat Willie. So
yeah, I want to play that. It looks awesome. So basically, Command & Conquer Renegade, first-person shooter, but in the StarCraft universe, because we got StarCraft, we got StarCraft Brood War, we got StarCraft 2. They're all incredible games, but we never got a first-person shooter kind of point of view, and I would love to see that for the reason from a Terran Marine. And all of a sudden, you just see this Zerg, and it's gonna be probably 2-3 times bigger than you, and you're just gonna be like, "Going, Jesus!" I would love to actually see that. I think that would actually be an incredible thing that would sell very well. Blizzard's never gonna do it because Blizzard is too far up their own rear end, if you want my honest opinion. But yes, if you wanna play something similar, Command and Conquer Renegade, give it a shot.
While you're kind of on the topic of StarCraft, I never played the StarCraft game. Like I said, I'm not. I do like some RTSs. Like my favorite back in the day was not Command and Conquer. I did play the first Command and Conquer. My favorite was Total Annihilation, but I'm not good at RTSs. But I do like the genre. I just don't really play them because I'm not good at them. But because I never got into StarCraft, the one StarCraft game I was super stoked for, and it never came out, was StarCraft Ghost, which was basically StarCraft Splinter Cell. That game was going to be dope.
Yep.
So it's kind of along the lines of what you're talking about.
Yeah, I remember that one. Yeah, no, it never came out. I think it wasn't also supposed to be on possibly on the 64 or something like that. Or
I was going to play it on later. PC. I don't know what consoles it was going to be on, but yeah, that got scrapped.
Wait, Paul says it's called Space Marine. What? Is it official, Paul? Come on now.
Yes, there's the Space Marine games, but those are third-person shooters, not first-person shooters.
Oh, okay.
You can go first-person in those games, can't you?
I haven't played them.
Vermintide is Vermintide, not Vermintide. What's the other one?
Vermintide, I believe.
Darktide's first-person.
Oh yeah, those are first-person shooters. Although I believe the Vermintide Darktide games are basically in the vein of Left 4 Dead in the Warhammer universe. Yeah. They are first-person shooters though. So that could be what you're looking for. I just don't know very much about Warframe. Warhammer.
Paul, I don't think that's an official StarCraft game. So because I just Googled it, I'm getting Marine StarCraft.
He's saying StarCraft shooter called Space Marines, not.
Oh, yeah.
I was thinking of Warhammer Space Marine, so I got that mixed up.
It's got to be official, Paul. Come on.
So I don't know. Like I said,
I
don't know anything about Warhammer. So maybe that, and I don't know much about StarCraft either. So that may be as well. So, but October Mike, he's right there with you. He says, "Yeah, Mighty Doom was basically Vampire Survivors Doom Eternal, and he loved that game as well. And he still has it on his phone. He's never deleting it. So shout out to you, October Mike." Shock says, "I want a turn-based Halo dating sim." There's only one person to date. It's Cortana. How interesting could that be?
I mean, they made a stupid series about it, I guess, in a sense.
Oh, don't even talk about that.
It doesn't exist. Ajax, thank you. Halo was originally designed as an RTS on the Mac, but then Microsoft bought it and it became a first-person shooter. So, and that's probably why Halo Wars existed. Like, hey, you know what? Let's make a game in the genre this franchise was originally going to be in. So, Alex, do you have a game or a franchise you'd like to see explore a new genre?
So I don't know if this technically counts, but What I would love to see is like, so everybody has really great memories of playing James Bond GoldenEye. Like that's like a classic
Mhm.
Oh
N64
yeah.
GoldenEye's top tier. I would love to see them bring back James Bond games, but in the like Hitman, Assassin's Creed, open world kind of choose your own adventure type thing where you have a mission and you can accomplish that mission several different ways by either you can espionage by sneaking in, dressing up, you know, in a tuxedo and acting like you're part of this party or going somewhere and sniping. Like just have it in the genre of like that open world spycraft, Hitman-esque, Assassin's Creed-esque world of gaming,
Okay.
or even something along the lines of like Tom Clancy's, you know, either The Division or like Ghost Recon or something, where you're James Bond, you are a spy, you have missions, and you have an open world to accomplish that mission however you see fit, but have it set in a James Bond world. I think I don't know, man. I haven't seen a
That'd
like
be
what's the
great.
last James Bond game that has come out? It's probably GoldenEye. Like it's been like 30 years, man. Like
It was
A lot of people were a big fan of Nightfire, which is the big game that came out after GoldenEye. I never played that one. There have been a number of James Bond games. I remember there was one on 360. It was a Casino Royale game. But yeah, there hasn't really been any big James Bond games in a long time. So yes, doing a James Bond game in a Hitman style where you could, here's your objective, go complete it however you want, would be
Yeah.
awesome. I'd totally be into that.
the last one that I remember personally is that basically Daniel Craig's remastered
Oh,
version of GoldenEye 007.
that's right. They did have that. Oh, you know what?
And that I literally
for it.
think that is the legitimate last one.
Yeah, James
there,
Bond Legends 007.
there was a Quantum of Solace game. That's probably that's actually by Treyarch. That one's actually probably pretty decent.
There's a Quantum of Solace game.
Sorry, Clem.
Yeah, it was
the
a
Halo
360
TV show.
game.
Gotcha.
No way.
That's the I think that's the one I was actually thinking of, not Casino Royale, is Quantum of Solace.
I didn't know they made those games. Why?
But that was 2008. So yeah, they did do a GoldenEye remake with Daniel Craig. I don't know when that one came out though.
It was like 2017 if I remember right.
Wasn't that just a reskin though? It was a reskin.
It was a reskin, but it was still GoldenEye 007 modernized with but it was literally the same levels, but they put Daniel Craig inside of it.
GoldenEye 007 remake was 2010. So 15 years ago.
Yeah, it's a long time ago. Fraggle Rock. That's a long time ago.
Yeah, it's not on Steam either.
No, I have the PS3 version.
Yeah, Nightmare saying the last Bond game was 007 Legends around 2012. Yeah, it's been a while.
That's crazy.
I've never heard of that. I'll have to look it up.
But yeah, if you could just put yourself in that world where you're playing basically either Hitman or Assassin's Creed. I'm trying to think of like a stealth, not necessarily fully stealth based, but like a somewhat shooter
stealth.
Yeah, there's stealth aspects to it. There's objective aspects. There's shooter aspects. Like Hitman has moments where you're in gunfights and stuff like that. I'm just like that world just seems prime for like a good James Bond, and you could make it with Sean Connery. You know what I mean? Like you could go old school and make it and have it a period piece and make it from the '60s and stuff like that. I think it'll be great. So it's huge potential if done right.
That would be cool. That is an excellent answer. So, dude's saying that the creator of Retro Tunes actually worked on that GoldenEye remake. Cool. So, Nightmares mentioned Quantum of Solace and Bloodstone are decent. I've never even heard of Bloodstone. And 007 Legends has a Skyfall DLC. Huh. Okay. So, all right. So
I feel like this comment here about the dinosaurs is made specifically for me.
Oh, because you're a big dinosaur fan. Okay. Immolation.
Yeah.
I'm going to read the comment here and then you can go ahead. Immolation says, how about a dinosaur park builder as a survival horror? You build your perfect park, then get shifted into first person. You basically have to survive the park that you built. I'm not into those type of games, like the Roller Coaster Tycoon, Zoo Tycoon types, but that is an interesting twist. That would definitely catch my attention. I bet you probably got Alex's attention since he loves dinosaurs so much.
Yeah, I've played all the park builder ones for dinosaurs. I think it's
the Jurassic Park,
Jurassic World Evolution or something.
Yeah,
I've not played them, but I know of them.
Yeah, I've played the crap out of those games. They're fun. I get a little bored after a while because I can only build a park for so long. But I love this little twist where it's like once you build it, then you have to be put in it and survive. That's funny. So you could like build yourself like little hideouts and little like escape bunkers and stuff like that too. If you're like on building the park out, you would want to build ways for your character to survive that only you would know about. Like, oh, because I put this freaking tunnel in here that's gonna pop me out on this other side. Yeah, I like that.
That would also be a great game where you can upload your parks and have other people play them.
Yeah,
That would
yeah.
be great.
There's two games in this
He says he
genre
stole
coming
the
out.
idea from Reddit, but we'll give you the credit, Immolation.
There's two games in this survival horror genre that are coming out that have to do with dinosaurs. So obviously, you got Jurassic Park Survivor,
Oh,
which
yeah.
is coming out sometime this year, I believe. Which looks
We talked about
the
that on a recent
trailer.
episode.
Yeah, the trailer looks great. I haven't seen gameplay, so I can't say it's going to be a good game or not. But then there's another one that I did a Kickstarter for called
I
Death
was
Ground.
just going to ask
Oh,
you about that because I
yeah,
rewatched the last party chat you were on yesterday, and you
yeah.
brought that up. And I was going to ask you if there's any update on that game.
They send me emails every month about what they're doing, but I haven't seen anything hit. There's no rubber to the road yet, so I don't know what's going on. It was like freaking 4 or 5 years ago since I gave them money.
What was that game called again?
Battlegrounds or Death Ground? Hold on, let me check because I'm part of their Discord too. I jumped. It's called Death Ground. Yeah,
Death Ground.
it's
Okay.
a Kickstarter. They just sent me an update 6 a.m. this morning on Discord. They sent an update on all their stuff and what they're working on.
I have a question. Have you played The Isle?
I did, yeah. I downloaded the early access. I own it because I didn't return it because I felt kind of like a dick because I played it for about 20 minutes.
You didn't like it?
I don't. It's not even close to being done yet. Like it's early access.
Really early access. It sounds like.
Yeah, really early access.
Well,
and
it came out in October 2024.
They ain't done.
Really? Oh,
Yeah.
I haven't played it yet, and it's like, oh man, now you're killing me.
I do have it, and it was. I mean, it wasn't that expensive. It was like $25 or something. But when I logged in, and maybe I did this wrong. Maybe I just didn't join the right server or something like that. But it was dead empty. Like I literally saw nobody else. I was a raptor, and I was like chomping around, walking around, doing stuff, and it was just a very like PS4 level graphics, empty island that I was kind of roaming around by myself. All the servers that I saw were all Chinese. So I'm like, I don't know, dude. It's just
I wanted to play it because you were a human trying to run around. Yeah,
no, that's not unlocked yet. There's no humans. You have to be a dinosaur. They're going to introduce humans later, but when you first log in, because it's still early access, they only have dinosaurs unlocked, so you can create your own dinosaur. You can be like a raptor, or you can be an herbivore, or whatever.
Well, I mean, I guess I'd be a tyrannosaur, but
yeah,
I want to be like what?
Yeah, there's no humans in the game yet, not yet, anyway.
Well, son of a monkey.
Yeah.
Look up I have swear words, but I'm not going to say them.
Yeah, look up Death Ground. That's the one that you're looking for. You're a human in a broken down park with dinosaurs, and you have to survive. But that's also not even out in early access yet. That's still in development. It's been in development hell for like 5 years.
I'm going to say this.
I have something to talk about in development hell.
So tired of people putting out games that are not done. I don't care anymore. Like it was fun to beta test Fallout 76. Now I'm over it. When did Fallout 76 come out? 2018, 2019. I'm really over it. Guys, finish your fucking games, man. Come on. This is crap. You're expecting people to pay all this money and then go, we're going to get there. It's like, when?
Yeah, especially from AAA to like indie, I can understand it.
Well, yeah,
I don't go the early access route, but you got your AAA games that are coming out a buggy mess. That should not be happening.
Well, yeah, and a lot of the AAA studios now are like they're like, oh well, the
we'll
DLCs
fix it in post.
Yeah, the DLCs. It's like, was that a part of the original game, or did you just get? It's like really, yeah. Damn, man, that kind of bums me out.
So Clan Doran says that you can, but he'll show you later about the humans in that game.
The humans.
So speaking of development hell, my other topic answer for this topic is So, as I mentioned, I love Mega Man. It's one of my favorite franchises, and my favorite genre is Metroidvania. And Mega Man is the perfect candidate for a Metroidvania. We had Mega Man's ZX and ZX Advent, which are arguably Metroidvanias, but they're not very good. They could do way better. So if they did a proper, like, we're gonna make this a Metroidvania, not like we're gonna make this a Mega Man game with Metroidvania elements, that would be awesome. And it's because you beat bosses and you get new abilities that are basically tailor made for the genre. Hey, I got a new ability, now I should be able to reach new areas. I would, especially since the Mega Man is I wouldn't say it's a dead franchise, but the last thing we've gotten from Mega Man was Mega Man 11, and that was probably 4 or 5 years ago. Capcom hasn't done a lot with the Mega Man franchise in a while.
Mega Man is also in Secret Level. He's got an episode in there.
Okay.
It's like 7 minutes long.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to watching those. I just haven't gotten around to watching them yet, but a Mega Man X, because the X subset of Mega Man games are my favorite. So I'd love to see a Mega Man X game that's a Metroidvania. There is, where I was going with the whole development hell thing, there is a game that's been in the works for like 15 years. It's a fan-made game, and it's been in development hell because he lost like everything and had to start from scratch after like 10 years. And it's called Mega Man X Corrupted. And if he ever finishes this game, it might be one of my favorite games ever. It's exactly what I'm describing, a Mega Man X game in a 2D Metroidvania world. You got all these different weapon parts and bosses all over, so it's not like linear level based where you go and beat this level, go back to the map, and go to another level. It's all interconnected like a Metroidvania is supposed to be. He's working on it. Will it ever come out? I don't know. But if it does, that is exactly the game I'm talking about when I say I want to see a Mega Man X Metroidvania. He has a YouTube channel. I think it's like JMK or JMB something Studios. And he does updates on his progress on his YouTube channel. So if you're interested in that, you can go check him out. I'll go find it, and I'll put the link to it in the stream description afterwards. So if anyone's watching the replay, you can go check out his channel. But I really hope someday he finishes that game, because I want to play that so freaking bad, because I love Metroidvanias and I love Mega Man, and that is like the perfect combination of those two, is making a Mega Man game in a Metroidvania genre. So that is my other answer for franchise I'd like to see explore a new genre. So, all right. So, last topic on the agenda for tonight is, as usual, I like to round it out with talking about our favorite games from the next year. We didn't do this last episode because we were short on time and we were in the Salty studio. So, going back the episode before, we were talking about our favorite games from 2003. So that means tonight we're talking about our favorite games from 2004. And oh my goodness, was that a good year? That year was stacked with good games. So, I'm sure you guys will probably mention some of my answers, so I'll go ahead and let you guys go first, and I'll finish off with anything that you guys don't touch on. So, Alex, do you have a favorite game from 2004?
I think the easy answer is Halo 2, but like I said, I was poor and I didn't have the newest, latest, and greatest. I was always a couple years behind.
Yeah, you didn't have to have played it in 2004. You played it last year for the first time for all that matters, as long as the game came out in 2004.
Oh, okay. Well, not Counter-Strike. Splinter Cell Pandora Tomorrow came out in 2004. Which was the sequel to the original Splinter Cell. And although I didn't like Pandora Tomorrow for various reasons, it was actually done by Ubisoft Beijing, I believe.
Oh, that would explain a lot.
It wasn't done by Ubisoft in France, in Montreal or whatever it was. It was done in a different Ubisoft company. So that's why the differences that you see from the original to the sequel were like, this is like weird. There was like a different mentality behind the creation of it.
That makes a lot of sense, because I love the Splinter Cell games, but of the first three, Pandora Tomorrow is my least favorite.
It's the odd man out, right? Yeah, it's you got these weird little quirks, and you're like, this is strange. This is a weird direction. It was because it was made by a different I don't know what you would call it, not a sister company. It's still Ubisoft, but it was like a different branch, I guess.
Yeah, it's just one of their other development studios.
It was a different branch. It wasn't the Montreal one. that came out in 2004, which I'm a sucker for anything Splinter Cell, so I got to give it a nod on that.
I did like it.
Counter-Strike,
It's just my least favorite of the original three.
I think if you're going to go off the one that I've probably put the most hours into, Counter-Strike, I believe Counter-Strike Source came out in 2004.
That sounds about right.
Not Source. No, Source is the new one. Hold on. Let me make sure I get the right name because it's Counter-Strike.
I'm pretty sure it was Counter-Strike Source because they rebuilt it in the Half-Life 2 engine. And that's that's actually one of my answers is Half-Life 2 came out in 2004, and that's one of my favorite games from 2004. Yeah. So it would make sense that Half-Life Source was also that year.
Let's see, Counter-Strike, or is it Condition Zero? When did this come out? Did Condition Zero come out? Let me go to the store page. Hold on. I'm going to do some quick research here. 2004. Yeah, Condition Zero.
Okay. That's Condition Zero. I was not familiar with that one.
Yeah, Counter-Strike Condition Zero is when they introduced a lot of the offline missions. So you could play by yourself. You had bots and you could do missions. And they had a progression scale where you could do different things and work your way up, unlock new maps and unlock new things. And that's probably, of all the games in 2004, that's probably the one I've clocked the most hours in, is that game. That game was freaking dope. I still play that game sometimes.
Okay, good one. It's kind of similar for Halo. I realized this when I was making my list, how Halo and Splinter Cell are the same for me in that the third one is my favorite. Yeah. The first one's my second favorite, and the second one is my least favorite. Yeah. I still like all 6 of those games, the first 3 Halos and first 3 Splinter Cells, but those are my order of preference.
Yeah, totally. The first one, and there's a comment too from Immolation. He thought I thought Pandora Tomorrow was the third one. No, that's the second one. So it's Chaos,
the third one.
Yeah, Chaos Theory is the third one. So you've got the original Splinter Cell, and then you have Pandora Tomorrow, and then you have Chaos Theory. Chaos Theory is widely regarded as the best one because basically all of the wrinkles were ironed out by the third one, and they really mastered the light. Because there was a brand new mechanic in video games, was like basing your character's visibility off of the light in the room. Like, that
you have
was
a
never
light
done.
Meter in the game.
Yeah, you have a light meter. That's never been done before in any other game. So that was like a brand new aspect, and I think they mastered it in Chaos Theory. Chaos Theory to me had the cleanest looking graphics at the time. It was very smooth. The animations were really well done. Go ahead.
Splinter Cells 1 and 2, I believe, are built in the same engine, so they look almost identical when it comes to graphic style. 3, I think they built it in a brand new engine, and it looks way better.
Yeah, it's way better. And then there was
also real quickly, Chaos Theory. Not only is it considered the best of the first 3, it's widely considered by most as the best Splinter Cell.
I would agree. Yeah,
I agree.
I think the story is absolutely incredible. Everything about that game is like top tier stuff. Double Agent was actually an interesting one because there's 2 different games. There's 2 different Double Agent games. I was
just telling someone about that literally 2 days ago, how the Xbox and I played the 360 one, but I've heard that the original Xbox one is a significantly different game.
It's totally different. There's like completely different missions. There's completely different story elements to it. Like, I think they both end up in the same place, but the way they get there are completely different. It's so weird because I think in the Xbox 360 version, you actually have you have that balance meter where you have to be shitty enough to be okay with the terrorists, but not so bad that you lose out with third echelon. Like, there's like this weird balance act that's exclusive to the 360 that wasn't anywhere.
That wasn't in the other version. Okay, because you basically at the end, near the end of the game, there's a point where you either have to side with third echelon or side with the terrorists, and you have like this whole reputation system that's kind of fluctuating throughout the whole game, which is interesting concept. But I wasn't a huge fan of Double Agent.
Yeah, Double Agent's hit or miss. There's certain aspects that I liked of it. They were trying. There was another game that they were trying to mimic that had something similar to that. With the reputation and everything, and they were trying let's put that in our game since it's coming out in 360. We got to give people a reason to buy it again, that kind of a thing. But yeah, 2004, man, what a banger of a year for games, dude. It was good stuff.
A lot of good games. So Declan's like Doran saying, Neo, those are fighting words. Hey, I'm not saying they're bad. I like them all. Those are my preferred preference of orders: 3, 1, 2 for Splinter Cell and for Halo.
Yeah.
Immolation also loved all 3 Splinter Cell games and would love to see those remade. Absolutely. They did a collection of the first 3 Splinter Cells on PS3. They never brought that to Xbox, and I was very upset because I want to play those original 3 Splinter Cells again, but with
They're on Steam. They're on Steam.
I mean, I have them on Steam, but
Yeah.
they don't.
You know what's what's a bummer though is the older Splinter Cells on Steam. The key bindings are all screwed up. They didn't
Really?
they didn't port they didn't port it over very well.
Is the Steam version actually a port of the Xbox version?
I believe so.
Oh, I figured it was the PC version because that's where I played them and they were great on PC.
Oh, maybe I'd have to check it out again. But yeah, I have the original. I got Chaos Theory, Double Agent, Conviction. The only one I don't have is Pandora Tomorrow, and I'm not missing anything on that, so it's fine.
So, Glendoran says Halo 2 is easily his number one for 2004. Understandable.
Yeah.
You have something you want to input, Ryan?
Not about this topic.
No. Oh, okay.
Sorry. Well, it's on what I'm gonna say, but God bless GOG.
What? Oh well. Before you get into your favorite from 2004, what is it you just discovered that made you gasp?
The same thing for my thing for 2004.
Oh, okay. Well, then go for it.
So I was very wrong. All right. It was not Ace Combat 4 that I first played. It was Ace Combat 5, The Unsung War, and it is on GOG. And it literally is the one with the F-14A Tomcat on the front. And I love that game so damn much.
And that was 2004?
It was 2004. I literally I had forgot to no, it was Ace Combat 5, sorry.
Ace Combat 5.
Yeah, but it was 2004. And it is on GOG. And nice. I was like, what the freak? But yeah, that was the PlayStation 2. That was the PlayStation 2. So, no, it was literally the first one I ever played. I loved it so much. I know that Ace Combat 4, Ace Combat in general is a little bit hokey about how it does stuff. You know, you have kind of like 100 missiles. That's not real.
Well, it's more arcadey. If you want to like a real,
yeah.
I've played a couple of realistic ones, and they're not really that fun.
Yeah, well,
they're really difficult.
Well, yeah, no, I've definitely played actual flight simulator games, you know, and but no, Ace Combat 5, The Unsung War was the first one that I ever played. I don't know why I wanted to. Well, I know why I wanted to play it because again, the Tomcat was on the front, you know, and it's fighter jets, and I was in the military at the time, you know, so I was literally in the Army for the first time ever, the first year ever. And it is literally on GOG as of right now. And I did not know that. And I want to
buy immediately.
Yeah. So anyway, that's my pick.
Good one. Ajax saying Star Wars Battlefront and Lowest Expectations here. What's up, Lowest Expectations? Good to see you.
Battlefront. That's a good choice. That's a good choice.
I've never liked the Battlefront games. I'd rather rip my face over a coal.
Can you imagine if you flew your ship into the enemy Star Destroyer and then fought your way to their freaking their flux capacitor or whatever power their ship.
Flux capacitor.
You blew it up and then you flew out. Like, man, that was peak.
I hated them so much. I
barely played any of the Battlefront games. I always wanted to, especially being a huge Star Wars fan. I just never really got a chance. I barely played them, but I liked the little bit that I did play. But yeah, that what you just said, OG Splinter Cell and the Ghost Recon engine. Oh, that'd be amazing. So, all right. So a couple more from 2004. Mentioned Halo 2 and Half-Life 2. Love those games. Unreal Tournament 2004. As we mentioned earlier, I love that one. That's my favorite Unreal Tournament game. And then a couple of my favorite Metroids also came out in 2004. Metroid Prime 2 is on par with Metroid Prime 1 for me. I love both of those so much. The only reason, the one thing that puts Metroid Prime 1 above Metroid Prime 2 is Metroid Prime Remastered. Is phenomenal. That's what I'm playing on Metroidvania Monday right now. So I was playing that last night, and I'll be doing that again next Monday. And then also came out in 2004. I think they came out like within a week of each other. Was Metroid Zero Mission? Wait, did I have that right? I could have swore it was Metroid Fusion. Let me double check. Metroid Fusion. Let's see here. Release. Let me go to release date. I could have swore it was 2004. No, that was 2002. Oh, that's right. Because Metroid Fusion came out with Metroid Prime 1. Metroid Zero Mission came out with Metroid Prime 2. So I did have it right on my notes. So Metroid Zero Mission is my favorite 2D Metroid. And Metroid Prime 1 and 2 are my favorite 3Ds. But if it wasn't for Metroid Prime Remastered, it would probably be Metroid Prime 2. But Remastered is just so good. So, but yeah, Metroid Prime 2 and Metroid Zero Mission are, if I had to pick one out of all of them for my favorite game for 2004, I would have to say Metroid Prime 2 is my favorite out of all of those. But stacked year, lots of good games. So, yeah. All right, well, that will do it for tonight's episode of Party Chat. So before we bid adieu, we'll go let everyone go around and kind of plug themselves, say what they got going on. Alex, thanks for joining for another episode of Party Chat. Always great to have you on.
Thanks, man.
What do you got going on over on the Salty Nerd channel?
Oh, we got a ton going on. So Dutch Butters is the lead gamer over there. Of course, we have a heavy focus on Helldivers 2 right now. That's just a constant drip feed of content to be made from that, and the gameplay is one of the most fun games I've played. As much shit as I give that for the development team just being freaking ridiculous sometimes, that game is immensely fun. But that being said, we are doing some other games as well. I know we want to get some kind of a weird thing going on with Hell Let Loose, where we want to exclusively use our Discord to fill in the server. That's in the works as well.
Beware, the music will get copyright claimed. I played Hell Let Loose a couple years ago. I love that game. It's so good, but the music will torch you.
So turn the music off then in the settings.
Yeah.
Thanks
well, even on the main screen. Seriously.
Oh, in the menu.
On the menu, you will get because it is music? Classic World War II music, and you will get copyright claimed. I love that game. It's so great.
Good to know. Thank you. I'm not sure what else Dutch has got planned as far as the live streams go, but if you want to tune in, just go to Dutch Butters Gaming or go to saltynerdiscord.com and join our community. We do have we're pushing 1,300 members in our Discord. Very active, very fun. Everybody's down there just picking the game that they want to play and hanging out. But yeah, that's what's going on over here. And of course, you guys can always catch us talking about movies and pop culture on Saturday mornings at 10 a.m. Pacific time as well on Salty Saturdays.
Yeah, when I was scheduling the stream, because I usually schedule my week of streams on Sunday night, and I went to go get the Salty Nerd gaming channel, and all of a sudden it was Dutch Butters Gaming. I'm like, what is this? And then Dutch put out a post on Discord either today or yesterday that he's rebranding it. And I was like, oh, okay, well, that makes sense. So I dropped the link. Yep. So they're getting really close to 5,000 subs. So if you're interested in a more gaming chat from this guy and Dutch Butters, and actually gaming, because they Dutch streams Helldivers a few times a week, go give them a sub and help them get to 5,000. I think you guys are doing something special for your 5,000. If I'm not,
we're doing a huge giveaway. We're probably going to spend close to $100, if not more, dollars on various people. We're going to do a giveaway where it'll be like a draw out of a hat thing, comment with some certain emoji or whatever. We're giving away probably a couple t-shirts, a hat, and then some kind of a Steam reward where we're going to give you like $50 in Steam or something like that. So join us, help us we need 100 subscribers to get to that 5,000 mark. We're at 4,900 right now.
49.2. So
we got 2. 80. Oh, sweet. Right on. Yeah, we're getting there. And as soon as we get to that 5K mark, we're going to do a big giveaway. So make sure you're watching our YouTube videos. Every Tuesday, we drop at least one video, if not more, throughout the week. And there will be details on the giveaway in our next, whenever we hit that 5K mark, we're going to release a video about it. So stay tuned.
Awesome. So, well, as I mentioned, thank you for joining. It was a blast having you on and talking some more video games with you. Ryan, what do you got going on?
Oh, God, here we go. All right. So tomorrow I'm going to be doing part 3 of Dustborn. Literally on my channel. It's called Legion Talk. It's literally the first one down here. So that'll be a lot of fun. Like pulling nails off my face.
You don't have to.
No, I really do, because quite frankly, it's fun. It's funny to me watching me like go, Jesus. And then of course, on Thursday, I'm going to be doing what is called Thursday Night SmackDown, which is basically a watch along of old SmackDown episodes from the WWF Attitude Era.
Nice.
I have an overlay. I still get copyright claimed after the fact, but they don't take the stream down, so it's great. And we're gonna explore, WWE back when it was a lot better. I like it now. It's fine. I have a lot of friends that like it now, but anyway, I think it was better back in the Attitude Era. So we're gonna be doing that, and then of course, on Nadia's channel, if you know,
I got to meet her in Vegas. I mean,
yeah,
she's been on Party Chat before, but I got to meet her in person as well. So
okay,
that was
yeah,
cool.
no,
Her and Chris.
yeah. If you know Nadia, we're gonna be talking about The Last of Us season 2, which is basically The Last of Us part 2, episode 3, which is woohoo. So, and that will be 7 p.m. my time, which is
You're mountain,
basically,
right?
yeah, mountain. So 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, and 9 p.m. same time as this show. And then of course Friday we're gonna be doing God, there's so many things I'm doing. I'm gonna be doing Fright Day Night. It's my play on video games of a scary thing. I'm gonna be playing the Thing remastered. I didn't get a chance to do it last week. I wanted to, but gonna be doing it. So the Thing remastered. I love that game. The original PlayStation 2 version is incredible. And then of course trying to circle back around and do a watch along and finally finish after literally 5 months. How I Met Your Mother's watch along, and then of course Sunday
Those are
is
fun.
yeah, and then of course Speed Cam Sunday, watching the original, the only BBC Top Gear on Sundays, and then of course Mondays is Mayday Monday Air Disaster, which is
Love
basically
Top Gear.
oh, I do too. God, I do so much stuff. Sorry. So anyway,
What was Mayday Monday?
Mayday Monday is basically on my history channel, which is Legion Teaches History. It talks about actual aeronautical disasters that literally happened, and it's a Nat Geo thing that started back in like the early 2000s. So, and then of course back to Tuesday, which is Top Gun Tuesday. So, and then Wednesday, I don't know. I don't know anymore.
I don't
Literally follow all these channels right here: Legion Talk, Legion Wire, Legion Teaches History. You'll get the whole spectrum: pop culture, politics, and history.
Nice. And I don't think so. I think it's kind of fallen through on your guys' scheduling. But you haven't done a stream with Carl on history yet, have you?
Well, I haven't done a stream with Carl because literally the first time that we were supposed to do it, there was something that happened personally. Well, they're all personal. And then of course, Carl's like, no, don't worry about it, dude. And then of course, the second time I was supposed to do it, which was literally a few weeks ago, maybe 3 weeks ago, and my grandfather died.
Oh,
And he's like, dude, he's like, you can do the show if you want. And it was on a Friday, and it was literally like a day and a half after my grandfather died. And I was like, I'm gonna try to do the show. And then of course the day of the show, like I was like, no, I don't want to do it. So we're supposed to do it not this Friday,
oh.
which is literally in a couple days, but the next Friday. Finally, after 78,000 months.
So that'd be the 9th. So all right, I was like, I'm pretty sure that stream is not happening yet because I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, we're gonna also at the same time too. I forgot on May 7th, which is a Thursday, I believe, is going.
7th is Wednesday.
No, this is
8th is Thursday and 9th is Friday.
Well, shit, I'm gonna have to message him. I'm gonna be on Yeti Yef's channel, and we're gonna talk about. I have no idea.
All right.
So
yeah, dude saying, I hope Ryan has a calendar.
yeah, yeah.
So, all right. As for myself, as mentioned, I do Metroidvania Monday every Monday, where I'm playing through Metroid games. I'm currently in the middle of Metroid Prime 1, and then once a month I do Mass Effect Monday. I did that last night as well. So if anyone wants to join me for Mass Effect 3 multiplayer, I do that once a month because it's my favorite game and I love playing the multiplayer. And if you ever want someone to play, not on stream, just off stream for fun, let me know because I play it almost every weekend because I freaking love that game. So as for more stuff on streaming, as mentioned, next Tuesday, because I have Party Chat and Top 5 alternate Tuesdays. Next Tuesday is the next episode of Top 5. We're ranking our top 5 favorite franchises that need to be revived. And so far, we don't have anyone on the agenda, but I think Nightmare is going to join us. So I'm going to reach out to him because I saw him in chat and say, hey, you need someone on that panel. But if anyone else, Top 5 is all about getting people on to talk about video games. So if you want to be on that episode and talk about your 5 favorite franchises that need to be revived, let me know and we'll make it happen. I'm not doing anything on Wednesdays at the moment because I was doing Ninja Gaiden, but I just finished that last week. So Wednesdays I'm not doing anything. And Thursday night, typically open mic where I just have a guest on. We just talk video games. But typically the first Thursday of the month, which is this Thursday, 2 days from now, Dude and I are doing our next episode of Achievement Chasers, and we're going to be talking about our achievement hunting over the course of April. And then last thing, while we're mentioning Carl, I will be on Carl's channel next Wednesday. And we're going to be talking about Split Fiction because we just finished playing through it in co-op this weekend. And we're going to do the stream. We're going to talk about Split Fiction, how much fun we had with it. So that'll be over on Carl's channel, who unfortunately is not able to make it tonight, but he's the other co-host on Party Chat. So I'll be over on Carl of RNG's channel next Wednesday to talk about Split Fiction. So with that, look at Clan Doran says Mass Effect is awesome. My favorite franchise of all time. So Lois says that sounds like a good top 5. Yep, I think so.
Wait, are you sure?
And Nightmare says that's the plan if they'll have me. All right, Nightmare, you're on for next Tuesday's top 5. So and Farsi says, let me know if you need a person for one of your party chats. I'd love to yammer about games. Absolutely. I'm always looking for people to have on open mic. Is just to talk about video games. So if you want to be on open mic to talk video games, and I got party chat and top 5, those are more structured. But if you want to be on those, you're definitely welcome to as well. I am in the Salty Nerd Discord. I have my own Discord as well. But yeah, reach out to me on Discord or Twitter. Those are the best places to get a hold of me. But thank you everyone for joining me in chat for this awesome episode of Party Chat. And thank you. I gained 5 subs, so we're now at 302. So shout out to you guys. You guys are awesome. Thanks for pushing me over that 300 mark and hanging out with us as we talk about video games. Thank you again, Alex, for joining us on the panel. And Ryan, always good to have you and talk video games with you every other Tuesday. So that'll be it for tonight. Thank you, everyone, for joining us. You all have a good night, and we'll catch you next time. And as always, in the meantime, game on.
See ya.